What's up, everybody?
Is up. Welcome to another edition of Metalheads Unite. As you can see, we're still with the classic format here, so at least for this week.
Yep.
So just a reminder, as you know, me and Chris have been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, but next week we will not have a shows. We will be at Louder Than Life. So it will be an all-day event there, so we won't be broadcast. Maybe one day we'll be big enough where they say, "Yeah, broadcast live from Louder Than
Life." Man, how awesome would that be?
I think we would need better equipment if we find up to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We would definitely need. We would definitely need a gear upgrade.
Out there, just saying.
Yeah. Just hintity hint.
Right.
But yeah, welcome back, everybody. It is Friday. It's 10:09. Well, we're a couple minutes behind. But what you guys saw there at the very beginning was one of the brand new videos from one of our guests from the last, I guess, month. I can't remember exactly when Brian was on the show, but that was a little taste of The Final Girl by our friends in The Dude. They had their Energy Light. Yep. So they had their new album Dissonance come out a couple days ago, actually. So yeah, Jason and I have both listened to it, and we will be talking about that later in the show. But yeah, so a little bit of a sneak peek. Not really. I mean, the video has been out on YouTube for a while, but so I mean, we haven't been giving away any trade secrets, but that video's out now, so you still get an idea of kind of what the new album sounds like. So check that out over on YouTube. Not right now because you're watching us, but in a couple hours, go on over to YouTube and check it out. Just stay here for right now and go over there later. So I mean,
sorry, we were a little bit behind on things. As you heard, P. Diddy is in a lot of trouble and he tried to shut down the studios. So.
That's right. Yep. We were on the hunt for some Cambodian breast milk. That's why we were a couple minutes behind. So we got the picture of the midget holding the balloons, but the Cambodian breast milk was a little harder to find. So
yep, it is.
I mean, there's Haitian breast milk all over the place. All you have to do is go up to all you got to do is go up to Ohio to get it. But trust me, you don't want to go to Ohio. Haitians are not. So.
True. unless you have a Hummer or something, you'll lose your car on the road if nothing else.
Well, I mean, yeah.
We went there. I want to say 2019. We went to Sonic Temple. Yeah. So when we went to Detroit recently, we went back, through the same area. I swear to God, the same construction is going.
Probably.
I'm like,
probably was.
We rode through there, and I asked my wife. I said, "What is going on? We come through here like 5 years ago. Like, what the fuck?"
Probably.
So it was kind of crazy. I was like,
"Yep."
Hey, good news is that I looked at my itinerary for everything while I'm on vacation, and we can do a show.
Oh, cool! All right, that's good.
Whatever that.
I think it'll be the 4th actually, but yeah, that'll be fine.
So everything
it is the 4th, yes, Friday the 4th.
So we can't do a show then.
Cool. All right, that'll be good.
So we don't have
that'll.
We're trying to get away from taking off 2 weeks. We don't like to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But that'll be that show on the 4th. That'll be another classic format show too. I mean, we more than likely, but until all this stuff with our trips and our and everything kind of straightens out and gets kind of quiets back down. I don't know. I mean, I do know that we've still got invites out to people. So, but we're not.
Come on the 4th.
Yeah. So for right now, it's looking like that show on the 4th will be classic format too. So, we'll see how that goes.
I'll probably put another few lines in the water after we go over reviews tonight too. So.
Yep. Not to give too much away.
And just so you know, I'll go ahead and give you forewarning that the theme of the week this week, got way carried away, and I apologize in advance. So,
I'll just say right now, I had 20. That's all I'm saying. But
well, it's going to be a extensive list.
that's
So
fine.
just,
I'm totally fine with that, man.
I think I was, I think
Three
I
or
was like 5, and I'm like, oh shit, I need to stop.
yeah, 3 or 4 hour long playlist. It never bothers me. So
It should be a quick
what
one. So,
like that one that like when you came over the other night and you were showing me that uploader program. What was that one that we picked? Was it like 60 some odd songs?
yeah, I had like 60 something songs.
Yeah,
It's like, Jesus. I think that may have been one where it was just not me and you. I think some other people would participate, like Victor. And
I'd have to look back. That may have been one that Victor contributed to. So, but
usually when he contributes, it kind of
they get a little lengthy. But which reminds me, I actually need to send him a message and ask him if he's going to be in Nashville on Tuesday.
Pretty sure he messaged me about when he heard about the Slayer thing, and he said he already had tickets. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be there. So
Cool.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he messaged me and said, "Hey man, you going to see Slayer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to." I said, "But I don't know." So I have all this other stuff going on, but I'm definitely going to try to. Yeah. And I think when I got the tickets, I messaged him and said, "Hey man, I got my tickets, so I'll see you there." And he's like, "All right, cool."
Yeah. I wonder if he's gonna go see the show Tuesday night.
That I don't know.
I'll touch base with him after the show and see if he's gonna be there.
I mean, if so, it won't be hard to find him at the Brooklyn Bowl.
Nope.
He kind of stands out, anyways.
Yes, he does.
He's got his big high digital camera and stuff with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah, he does.
He's a professional.
More professional than us.
I'm an amateur professional.
Right.
Anyway, we will guess rock and roll this now. I think it was something else. It was that, so I guess it don't matter.
It'll come to you. I mean, we can always. I mean, if it does pop in your head, I mean, we can always go back to it. So,
yeah.
Well, the show never goes in a straight line anyway. So,
well, that is true. I feel like we're a typical New Year's Eve on the interstate getting pulled over by state troopers.
Right.
It's definitely a cricket line.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess we would kick off with birthdays as usual.
Yep.
From 14th through the 20th. Not a whole lot here, so unless I missed somebody, correct me. For the 14th, I had Pete Agnew, bassist for Nazareth. Jeff Loomis, a guitarist for Nevermore from 91 to 2011, and then from Arch Enemy from 2014 until 2003, which was kind of sad to me and Chris when we heard that he was leaving. We thought that was a pretty good tandem guitar work right there with those guys. So we had Palo Gregoletto, bassist for Trivium. There's also a theme here that you'll catch on to probably. So then we had Paula Caragosa, guitarist for Detonator and Pandora. September 15th, we had Lee Dorman, bassist for Iron Butterfly. Fortunately, he passed away in 2012. We had Jerry Dixon, bassist for Warrant. Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein, or Steen, however you want to say this, guitarist for the Misfits. And then we had Bobby Wims, vocalist for good friends locally, local band Chunder.
Mm-hmm.
We had September 16th, we had David Michael, or you may know him as Dave Snake Sabo, guitarist for Skid Row. Eric Smith, another local band here, vocalist and bassist for Mr. Gray. September 17th, Ty Tabor, guitarist and singer for King Vex. We had Keith Flint, vocalist for The Prodigy, passed away in 2018, which is kind of crazy that I brought up Sonic Temple because I forgot he was even on the list, and that was actually he died 2 weeks before that festival. So
that's right, yeah.
With Papa Roach, only because Papa Roach goes to those festivals whether he's on the card or on the lineup or not, because I guess he's from that area.
Mm-hmm.
Shaddix, but Jacoby.
He
He always goes to the shows, even if he's in the audience. which is pretty cool. He's out there supporting the people. So. Then we had September 18th, we had Charles Hedger, a guitarist for Cradle of Filth. September 19th, we had Lita Ford, of course, vocalist and guitarist for her own band, Lita Ford, and way, way old. She was about in Runaways as well. So, I'm not even that old, so I'm just kidding. I'm not old enough to remember. I was probably a kid when they were playing. But
Yeah.
Jimmy Bowers, the guitarist and drums for I guess guitarist for Down, drummer for I Hate God. Depends on which band he's in, I guess. September 20th, Nuno Betancourt, guitarist for Extreme, and Ben Shepard, bassist for Soundgarden. That is all I found. I don't know if I missed anybody that you may have come across.
No, not that I can think of. I think you basically got them all.
If you didn't catch the pattern there.
The pattern, other than bass, no, I didn't catch the pattern.
A lot of bass.
So, yeah, because I'm going to say, is there another pattern other than all the damn bass players?
You want a good bass player, and just get pregnant around Christmas time. So.
Pretty much.
All right, that will lead us into the metal news of the week. I feel like this week's news was, there was a lot of stories, but I just don't think a lot of it was report worthy. I guess I think there's a lot of headline stuff.
Yeah, well, I got a few things, and not to jump too far ahead, but a lot of the big news was in the Hit in the Road segment, and obviously we'll get to that in a little bit. But kicking off the current event segment this week, we have a death we have to pass along, and man, it been a rough summer for Brujeria over at the PRP.com amongst other outlets. More tragic news has emerged from the camp of Mexican death grinders Brujeria. The band have just announced the death of their leader and co-founder Juan Brujo, a.k.a. John Lepe. The 61-year-old musician passed away as a result of a heart attack, with the group offering the below statement on September 18th via Facebook. Quote, "It is with deep sadness we have to announce that our leader Juan Brujo has passed away today. Juan suffered a heart attack on Monday morning after a day off from the current Mexorcista tour in St. Clairsville, Ohio. He was rushed to the nearest hospital in Wheeling, West Virginia by emergency services, but despite the medical team's greatest efforts, he died this morning. His family, friends, and bandmates are devastated and wish to mourn in private while they appreciate the fans' love and support," end quote. News of Brujo's passing follows the band canceling their touring plans earlier this week, citing a severe medical emergency at the time. Sadly, Brujo's passing arrives roughly a month after the death of the group's vocalist/sampler, Ciriaco Pinche Peach Quezada, who died as a result of serious heart complications. And actually, it was 2 months ago because he died on the 17th of July. Yeah. But regardless of when it was, like I say, it's been a really rough summer for Brujeria, losing 2 members within 2 months. So that really sucks. So it'll be interesting to see how the band replaces those 2 guys moving forward.
That's what I was saying. Hopefully, music wise, they kind of carry on. With the name, just replace members. I know it's probably. I'm sure there's other original members in the band besides, the singer. But, it's kind of, dude. I just can't imagine. That's just crazy. That's like, they. I know I kept reading those stories because I ran across it too when you told me you had it. But I was reading, trying to find my stuff. I kept seeing the word "cursed" and hurting of the tour.
Yeah.
Tour because of everything. And I kind of wondered if that medical emergency had something to do with him.
I mean,
days before, so
yeah. I mean, I kind of figure they have to be related more, because calling off an entire tour due to a severe medical emergency. Yeah, a heart attack is pretty severe. So I would speculate that was the reason why. So, don't know.
I have 2 members die of that.
Yeah, and both of them roughly the same age, because Pinche Peach, he was like 59 and he had heart complications too. So roughly the same age, more or less the same issue. So I don't know what Pinche Peach's issue was, but it just said severe heart complications. So I mean, it could have been anything, but I mean, Juan had a heart attack. So, but still cardiac event. So, it just sucks. Timing's terrible.
It is, yeah. All right. My first one here is over from Metal Sucks. You think as a metal band hailing from Texas, the prospect of opening for any version of Pantera would be a no-brainer, and I imagine for the surviving members of Power Trip, that's what they managed to achieve when they accepted the opening position for Pantera's upcoming European tour. Yet there's a bit of backlash online as fans of the band have been calling Power Trip out for accusing or for associating with Pantera when the band's late frontman Roddy Gale expressed that said he didn't want to get involved with Phil Anselmo. Uh, the consternation comes from the fact that Gale had expressed his distaste with the idea of working with Anselmo in any capacity following the now infamous white wine incident, where Anselmo shouted out "White Power" and performed that all too familiar Nazi salute during his 2016 Dime Bash event. Anselmo later tried to play that off like it was some stupid fucking joke about the white wine, and he said he was drinking backstage, though he apparently wasn't drinking white wine. A 2017 interview with the Toilet of Hell podcast, which you guys should absolutely listen to because they're hilarious as hell. They're not Metalheads Unite, though. Come
on. That's right.
Gale made his feelings known about Anselmo, revealing that Power Trip had been asked to tour with Superjoint Ritual at one point, but they turned it down. Superjoint Ritual asked us to go. I guess it's sorry. Superjoint Ritual asked us to go out. It was hard, but you know what? It was one of those things where it was only a year ago since Phil got busted, say hailing on camera, and one of the guys from Pig Destroyer, I believe it was Blake, he plays in the band with Phil, and he was there, and he kind of explained what Phil was doing was actually being sarcastic. He was trying to address the hecklers, but you know what? He's done some really, he's done some stuff that made us too uncomfortable, and I didn't want to go out there and feel like I needed to be the guardian of Phil Anselmo regarding his politics. And I certainly didn't want to come didn't want to come out there and end up disagreeing and them being on tour with a band that hates us for our politics for the next few months. It was a really hard thing to turn down. I would love to see what Phil really is like as a person. I believe that he probably is a good person at the end of the day, and we've toured with I Hate God, and Jimmy Bauer is a pretty good guy. So it was one of those things where do we want to? It more so had to do with his fans that kind of followed him around. Do we want these sort of lower income, kind of trailer trashy metal guys who just worship Phil Anselmo, or do we want them to be exposed to our band and then maybe become associated with a scene or a group of people that we don't necessarily agree with? So it was tough. I would love the opportunity to maybe play with Phil and get to know him as a person, but to commit to a 5-week tour with a guy who has done and said some questionable things that we don't agree with was something that we just kind of said it wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth the risk. We don't need the tour. As cool as it was, or as cool as it would have been, Power Trip didn't need to go on tour with Superjoint Ritual. Sounds pretty definitive to me. So naturally, that interview, as well as one he did with the Chicago Tribune a year later, pretty much spells out that Gale would be against this sort of arrangement without actually getting to know Anselmo. Fans are now online questioning the band on social media about why they're willing to work with Phil Anselmo and the rest of Pantera now that Gale's gone. I mean, I think that answers your question. Because Gale's gone. As of this posting, Power Trip hasn't responded to the criticism of fans. It'll be interesting to see if they actually address the issue or if they'll just head out on tour and collect their bag. I mean, dude, are you going to sit around and dwell on something that happened, 8 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever it was?
Yeah. I mean, people, I remember when that happened. I mean, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a good look, but
well, no.
I mean, people can't change. And I mean, people are supposed to be haunted by their mistakes forever. I mean, granted there are some pretty big mistakes that people make, some that are pretty definitive and permanent. I mean, people go out and kill people every day, whether it's on accident, whether it's on purpose. People drive drunk and they take out a family. Those are pretty big mistakes that people have to live with. But I mean, and of course, we all know that the Nazi Holocaust was
Mhm.
one of the most atrocious things that ever happened in human history. Not trying to downplay that at all. But, you know, Phil made his explanation.
Mhm.
Take it for what you will, accept it or not. I mean, it happened 8 years ago. And, if Riley was not comfortable with touring with them, he was well within his right. It's totally fine. I don't necessarily think it's one of the things that was in the story you read. I don't necessarily think it's cool to address all Phil Anselmo fans as redneck trailer trash dudes. I mean, I've been a Pantera fan for a long time, and that's kind of not really fair because I don't agree with Nazi salutes and shit like that. No one's perfect,
Right.
but people, they mature, and we all know. Well, most of us. I'm not going to make blanket assumptions, but most of us watched that Pantera Behind the Music, and Phil had his heroin addiction. They all drank. So I mean, they were all big drinkers. Phil had his heroin problems. He died once. They had to bring him back. So I mean, he's got plenty of skeletons in his closet. Nobody's perfect, but I mean, maybe just maybe, now that Riley's gone, maybe the rest of the guys were like, well, maybe we can give the guy a chance. For all we know, maybe they talked. I have no idea. Maybe they talked.
I think the biggest thing I took from that was like their politics don't agree with mine, so I shouldn't tour with them. It's like, dude, if that's the case, then nobody would tour with anybody.
Exactly. Yes. I mean,
He's on politics. Uh, I mean,
yeah.
we've
I
talked
mean,
about this many a times. Like we're totally against a lot of stuff that Rob Flynn says, but I love Machine Head. I don't give a
me
shit.
too.
So,
Me too.
it's not about there's a message there, but if you want to just enjoy the music, you don't have to take in the message.
Right. Yeah.
You can take
And
in whatever part of music you want to, as long as you're taking it in.
yeah, and I don't, in that same vein. I mean, we're, well, the show's X profile. I don't know about you on your personal one, but on the Metalhead Unite X profile, we're also following Alex Skolnick, and I don't really think I have to say that we're not 100%. We're not really on board with Alex's political views, but I love Testament, and
Right.
he's part of Testament. So when we go to see Testament, I'm there to go see Alex play the guitar. So
for his political views,
right. Yeah, so we're there to we're there to enjoy the show. Alex is part of the show. Alex is a hell of a fucking guitar player, so I'm gonna enjoy watching Alex play the guitar. And he's entitled to his opinion. So if I see an opinion that I don't agree with, I do what everyone should do. I just scroll right past it, keep on going. My day doesn't change. So
you gotta pick from him.
No, I didn't get. Who did I get a pick from?
I can't remember who you said you got to pick at that shit.
I did. I'd have to get it out. Lee Altus, maybe.
Okay.
No, he's not in Testament. He's in Exodus. But I did get one. I did get one of Lee Altus.
I didn't even remember which band it was. I just remember you got one from somebody.
Shit, I'm gonna have to go through them and see which one I got, because I got one. Kayla and I both got one. Shit, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to go through them and check it out to make sure. But I know it wasn't from Alex though.
Tuesday. So.
Let's hope. But I know that it wasn't from Alex though. Even if it was, I would have. It still would have been cool if it was. So
I don't know his political views, so I don't know how to make the joke. So
well.
I was going to say, well, you could take it to a Trump signing and have him sign it for you.
Well, he won't be at a Trump signing. I'll just leave it at that.
No, I'm saying you could have took the pick there and had Trump sign it.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. Could have done that.
Why'd you get it done on a guitar pick? I mean, you're not going to get Donald Trump's autograph, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right. Staying over the PRP for my next one. Veil of Maya have announced their decision to go on hiatus, scrapping all of their planned touring for the time being. A statement issued by the progressive metalcore band reads as follows. Quote, "We have made the difficult decision to have Veil of Maya go on hiatus, and we will not be playing any of the upcoming festival or tours. We apologize to our fans and appreciate everyone's support over the years. This break is necessary for us to reassess our future, and we hope you understand. When the time feels right, we'll update you on what's next for Veil of Maya. We will be back. Thank you again." End quote. News of this hiatus follows a challenging run as headliners of the recently relaunched The Summer Slaughter Tour, a bill which struggled to fill venues and was plagued with online backlash due to a lack of veteran death metal bands, and more on the bill, among other issues. As for Veil of Maya's planned co-headlining run with Signs of the Swarm, the latter outfit are scrambling for a replacement, stating, quote, "We're sure you've seen by now that Veil of Maya are on hiatus and won't be joining us for our tour with Varials and To the Grave anymore. Fear not, the pin. I'm trying to read these Twitter handles, and some of them are like weird. Fear not, the Pins and Knuckles merch Faces of Death tour will go on." I don't know. We're currently in discussions with Avocado Booking and other possible artists on how to make the tour the best it can be, and would appreciate anyone holding on to their tickets in faith that we will deliver an amazing tour for you. If you are considering picking any up, it would be hugely appreciated. We'll keep you updated as soon as we can. End quote. And so will we here at the Metalheads Unite podcast if we hear who the replacement ends up being. But right now, Veil of Maya is going to take a step back and, kind of regroup and see what they got going on.
Yeah, it's like Veil of Maya. So.
Yeah, it's better than there being some animosity and them trying to tour through it and them imploding on themselves. I mean, it sucks for the rest of the bands on the tour. It seems like it's kind of short notice, but as a band, you got to do what you got to do for the hopefully continued health of the band. So, I mean, hopefully it's not a super duper long-term hiatus.
Next one I have is over from Blabbermouth. In an interview with Germany's Radio Bob, vocalist Sharon Den Adele of Dutch Symphonic Metal Within Temptation was asked if she took notice of the fact that the band recently surpassed 400,000 followers on Instagram. She responded, as transcribed by Blabbermouth. I don't know why they say that. Well, to be honest, I'm not sure if I should say this on the radio, but I was a bit shocked of our own audience in a way because we actually reached 420,000 and we lost I don't know what that's just worded wrong. They lost 20,000 because we made an announcement like, okay, just a post about Pride, the yearly event for acceptance and visibility of the LGBTIQ.
There's an I in there now?
What it says. Plus, I guess they had to buy a vowel. I don't know.
Man, those are $250 a piece. Don't they ever watch the show?
Right. Community in the Netherlands, and we lost 0 to 0, 2. I don't know what she said, just by one post saying equality stands for. She continued, "I don't care about losing those, but it was a shock to me. So many people were appalled by the message. It's like, what is the world going to?" Was a bit sad about that. It was like, okay, because you said something about equality and how we see people and how we treat people. Wow, it was a shock. It's reflecting how people are thinking about how things are changing in society. Sometimes by things you post, it's like, wow, I didn't see this coming. But anyway, I'm not regretting it at all. I'm really happy that it happened because it just cleans up the database. She laughed. Who cannot stand?
I mean, that is true.
Equality for everyone. It's like, come on. Last December, Den Adele was asked by Mexico's Suma Inferno why it was important for her and her bandmates to voice their political views in some of their recent songs, including Wireless and the title track of their latest album, Bleed Out, which have highlighted such current topics as the war in Ukraine and the suspicious death of Masa Amini, an Iranian woman detained for not wearing is it hijab or hijab? I can't remember.
I think it's hijab, but
hijab. Okay.
I think.
She said, "We are musicians, and what do musicians do? They're storytellers. In my opinion, at least that's how I see myself as a storyteller. Back in the day, there were castles hundreds of years ago when the musicians were traveling from country to country, What they did is bring the news from one country to another country, she explained. If there was a war far down south, then half a year later, people would know up north because the musicians came and they make music telling the stories of what's happening in the world. And I think that essence of being a musician, I think that's important. I have, I think Oh yeah, I think the essence of keeping certain subjects alive in a different way than in the past, of course, but now more like the news goes fast in our time because we have internet and everything. We know what's happening in every country more or less. And the thing is, it becomes old news very fast. But certain things you need to keep addressing and talking about, like what's happening in Iran, for instance, but also the war in Ukraine, and of course now that what's happening in Gaza and in Israel, these topics are important to talk about. For us, we've written songs about certain of these topics, like Ukraine and Iran. Sharon added, we did write something about that. We were inspired by that, so that's what while we were talking about it in our interview. And because it becomes old news very quickly here in Europe, I don't know how it's in your country, but nobody talks that much anymore about the Ukraine or what's happening in Iran. Not at all, because it's not the news anymore. Ukraine is because we are, of course, supporting them, but in different ways from a European point of view. But Iran, it's already very much old news since Masa Amini died because she resisted the of morality police and died in a horrible way after being beaten to death just because she wore her clothes in an incorrect way to them. And it's very important to talk about these topics because otherwise it becomes old news and their fight is still going on. And that's in many subjects. We could have written about so many things in the world, even about South America, where certain things are happening. But these were the things that inspired us when we were in the studio. At the moment, the war broke out in Ukraine. At the moment, Masa Amini had just died, and we watched the news. And before we knew it, it was integrated into our music. But it could have been also other topics that are just as much needed and talked about, of course. But these were the things that were happening in the moment when we were actually writing the music. Asked if she is afraid of the backlash and criticism she and the rest of Within Temptation might receive for publicly voicing their political views, Sharon said, quote, well, I believe in democracy and I think that we have a voice and I believe in debating. What I hope to do with this, we're not lashing out or criticizing anything. It's more like we try to keep the subject alive because it's just by talking about it, we can bring other people to new ideas or get a little deeper into the subject or start being interested in the subject and thinking about what is the right thing to do. What kind of world do we want to live in? I think that's a good question. So I'm not afraid of feeling attacked because of the fact that we take a certain point of view because I think, well, I think that's the thing of democracy. We can all have a voice and we all can contribute to the debate on what kind of world do you want to live in and what do you accept from each other and what don't we accept from each other. There should be a certain pressure from other countries trying to help certain people in need. And I think it's most important that we support those who are oppressed, and let them know that there's people thinking about them and supporting them. So, yeah, so they got lose a little fan base there, and it's you know, unfortunately, it's not surprising to me because anytime a band kind of gets too political with their stuff, it usually kind of happens. So,
Yeah, it's a delicate balance that a band has to find, because I mean they're just like everybody else. I mean, they have their opinions on things, and they should be able to express their opinions. But the thing is, like I said, it's a balance because there's a lot of people, of course, whatever stance you take, you're going to piss off the people on the other side. So first and foremost, whatever side of the aisle you're on, those other people are going to be pissed at you. The second thing that you kind of, to me, you have to be cognizant of when you start putting, opinions or like current events, hot button topics into your music is people use music as an escape from all the bullshit. So whether it's going to concerts or just putting your headphones on and just trying to drown out the world, when your music gets heavy on sending a message, no matter what the message is, you could potentially, I think, maybe turn off some fans. Maybe not necessarily piss them off, but you could probably turn off some fans because it's like, I got to hear about this shit enough during the day. I don't want to hear it in every song. So I think, like everything else, is kind of like a balance thing. I mean, she should be able to write and sing about what she wants, but
So here's a prime example of the way I think things should be. I don't know if you follow wrestling much, but there's a guy named Tyrus that's big in politics.
Oh yeah.
But he doesn't talk about that when he's in the NWA. That's not his platform to talk about this politics.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out and does his job, and then he does the politics on the politics show. So I think if you want to do that, it's great, but I think you should separate that from. I don't want to tell them how to separate stuff because I don't know what's the proper way to do it, but I mean, I think it should be separated somehow.
Yeah. I think,
if not, you risk losing fans. I mean, you just got to deal with that risk.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think it's a little bit. I think musicians they have a little bit more leeway with that because the music is their art and it is their expression and it is their platform, really. So I get them wanting to use it. 'Cause, I mean, hell, Dave writes about war and political stuff in his songs. I mean,
Right.
so he's not immune to it. And there's a lot of bands that will.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think, like I say, at some point you got to be like, all right, we've sang about this stuff enough. Maybe we should pull it back. So I think as far as like musicians go, you have to like know hopefully when to say when. Now, to me, the whole thing, like what you brought up with Tyrus is a good point. And I think another good example of it was all the shit that was going on with all the athletes wanting to take a knee during games. People were like, you need to stand up for the anthem. And my whole take on that is like, these athletes should be able to, like, Colin, not to like to bring the Colin Kaepernick thing. He was like at the forefront of all that
Right.
shit. My whole thing was, if Colin wants to be an activist or whatever, he can. When he's on the football field, he's an employee. He's at work. He works for the NFL. And he needs to be at work, and he needs to not anymore. But he burned that bridge himself.
Exactly.
But these football players, any athlete, when you're on the field, on the court, on the ice, wherever, on the pitch, on the wherever the hell you are, you're at work. You're being paid to do a job. Do the job. You want to protest something, you want to voice your opinion, you have social media to do that after the game. So that's the thing is, the athletes, you're at work, do the thing. The Tyrus thing, he is actually very, very well versed.
Oh, yes.
I've seen him talk, and he is very, very well versed. He is smart. He is very.
It's
smart.
so funny to watch him. Like, it's like you'll turn on like I don't know where he interviews stuff. I would say just like CNN, and you'll see like the host there, and then another guy center and all this suit and tie stuff, and he's there in like a shirt and
backwards baseball hat. Yeah, I've seen.
He's like so out of place, but he's just like drilling these guys. I think it's so hilarious.
Yeah,
it's the problem with a lot of things. It's like they look at you and they're just like, "Oh, well, this guy's stupid." Just look at him, and it's like then you get, you get drilled by the guy, and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm in trouble." And they never. It almost reminds me. There's a video, and I can't remember. It's old, but there was some guys. The little the missionary people that ride the bicycles and stuff. They come up on this black guy at a convenience store and was talking to him about Jesus, and he's just like, "What do you know about Jesus?"
Yeah, the Jehovah's Witness guys.
And he started drilling them, and like he was quoting Bible verses without anything in his hand. Mm-hmm. He said, "Son, if you don't know these things without looking in your book, then stop missioning the people, because you're not helping your case. If you have to go and look it up in a book, you should know these things."
Right. Yeah.
He said, "If you're faith driven, you should know these things." But it was like because they looked like they were in sketchy and you know looked like he was just wearing like a plain shirt and blue jeans and probably like a Cadillac, old model Cadillac or something like 80s model Cadillac or something. So, I mean, it wasn't like a car. So he looked like he didn't, they thought, oh, we can try to get to this guy because he looks like he needs help. I mean, when indeed he didn't. It's just the way he liked it. Some people just like to live a certain way.
Sure.
And that's another thing I hate too is, I've been in this conversation many times because, this is the way I dress. It's not just for the show. 90% of the time, actually 99% of the time, I'm wearing a metal shirt out. I mean, I have a closet full of them, so why not?
Right.
It's kind of like, so when I do go somewhere, like if I go to Walmart or somewhere like that, and I'm pushing in, and I see somebody give me that, I'm like, what is that about? And I was like, oh, it's because I'm wearing this fucking shirt, I guess, because you can't base anybody off of what they wear.
Yeah, I used to get that shit all the time when I had my piercings in my face, and I used to think and I always thought that was funny. It's like, dude, it's like if the way I look ruins your day, you're the problem.
Yeah.
So
you can't get excessive. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, to be a nose piercing or a tongue ring or a lip piercing or something like that. I mean, as long as it ain't chained together or something like that.
No, they won't. No,
I make a little excessive, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just, and it's crazy to think, 10 years ago, if you work somewhere that, oh, you got to cover that tattoo up. You can't have anything visible. Now it's like even nurses are going, coming in, and doctors are coming in and talking to you with tattoo sleeves and stuff. I mean, it's like it's nothing anymore. It's just a common thing now. So
it's a little
to me, because growing up, you didn't see that many people with tattoos.
Yeah, it's definitely been a culture shift.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, so it's kind of some certain, I guess, like maybe the shows like Ink Masters and stuff like that may have kind of increased that. I don't know, but but I mean, all rockers of metal guys have always had tattoos.
Oh yeah, that's kind of always those two things have kind of always been part and parcel. So,
and I know we talked about this before too, and I go back to this conversation a lot. I was talking about it earlier today, but I was in talks on a post, and they were just like, oh well, and it wasn't here. It was it wasn't for Metalheads. I was just doing a post like a joke post or something, and then somebody commented, it's like, oh, well, you're wearing that shirt, you must be a satanic worshiper or something like that. So, but yeah, and I'm like, okay, why do you get that just from my shirt? That's just ridiculous. And it got like a deep conversation with it because I was just trying to blow it off. I said, yeah, I don't know where you get that from, but whatever you feel. And they just kept like talking stupid shit. And I said, okay, let's go back. So you're saying this is like a satanic cult, right? You think because of what I'm wearing. So I'll challenge you to, and you can take your time and you can get back with this anytime you want to. I said, I'll give you the challenge to go out and see if any metal bands have created a satanic cult and caused people to take their own lives. And then you go and see how many religious people or groups have went out and done the same thing. And then you come back to me and let me know which one that caused more suicides than,
right.
and act more like a cult.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we can go with Jim Jones,
Jim Jones and Marshall Apple, David Koresh, Marshall Applewhite. I mean,
there's a lot of people that claim religious views, but and we talk about this a lot. Religion is tricky. I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to tell people how to feel and what to believe in. I just know what I believe in. So I have I got to cover myself. I can't cover everybody else.
Right.
So it's like that's a freedom you have being an American.
And the funny thing is, I really wish more people would exercise that freedom. I mean, you want to be a certain denomination or you want to believe a certain thing, you search those people out.
Right.
Leave everybody else alone. Leave everyone else alone. Let people come to it as they want to come to it. That's basic. That's really what it boils down to me. I don't care. I don't care. Like Methodist, Baptist,
Actually,
Pentecostal,
I
Episcopal.
think
I don't care.
I think other people's like views on those things are interesting to me, especially with when you get into different denominations. Because at the end of the day, I always ask the same question. I say, okay, do you believe God sent Jesus to die for your sins? And like all of them will probably say yes. And I said, okay, then why do we have 13 denominations?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's like you believe.
Oh, so wait. Religion has subgenres.
You're right. Yeah, it's like more than metal. So,
see everybody. We brought it back around. We brought
exactly.
we brought it back around.
I just don't understand the stereotypical stuff. I mean, even like, hey, if you want to be gay and you want to be pride, I mean, I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to damn you because that's not my job.
Yeah, it's not your place.
I don't judge you. I don't care what you do. Just like you wouldn't care if I showed you naked pictures of me and my wife doing it in the bathroom. You wouldn't care because you're gay. Or maybe you would. I don't know.
Yeah. Susie might.
Yeah. Lesbians, if you need some techniques, I'll do instructional videos for $49.99. Start selling them
on. Yeah. All right.
No, it's just the thing where it's like, I understand like her point of view. It's like, hey, it was the time of month. But the thing is, like, we talk about this a lot. It's like you got all these people want to put themselves out in the forefront and keep pushing, keep talking, because they want you to believe in what they believe, and it's never going to happen. So just shut the fuck up and carry on with your life, dude. Quit worrying about what other people think and trying to get people on board with what you think, because nobody cares what you think. Nobody cares what you do. You do you live your life. Life's too short out here stressing about what somebody else thinks about you.
Oh God, yeah. Oh,
we're talking about people here lately in their 40s dying. I mean, that's how old we are. So I mean, it's kind of like, and we just talked about a 59, 61-year-old. That's still young to us. I mean,
yeah, it is.
I think everybody should live to at least 80.
Yeah, that would be great. Because we've had people. Let's see. Let me just go. I mean, just this year alone, just scrolling through the list real quick. I mean, 32, 49, 43. 49. So I mean, and hell, last year, if I remember correctly, there was somebody who passed away in their 20s, and it wasn't like as the result of an accident or anything. I think it was an actual, I'd have to look back at the in memoriam list, but I think it was an actual medical issue. And this kid was like 26.
It's crazy.
Never really had a chance to do.
And you see a lot of people, like a lot of athletes have been dropping dead in their 20s too. And it's just like, wow, this is crazy. You guys have trained your whole life. Like, what happened? Like,
yeah. But I mean it just,
I'm not gonna say anything, but we know a lot of people triggered that to something, COVID related, but that's neither here nor there. It's never been proven. So,
well, I mean, even before this happened, I mean, you and I are both old enough to remember Hank Gathers from Loyola Marymount. You remember him? College basketball player from Loyola Marymount back in I think it was either the late 80s or the early 90s. I mean, this kid was in college playing basketball. He couldn't have been 20, 21, collapsed on the court, died. And I mean, this was decades before any of this shit. So, I mean, it happens. It happens. And
while we're talking about this, because this is suicide prevention, so we want to make sure, because there was a story that came. I don't know if you've seen this, but there was the 17-year-old cheerleader. I don't know if you just seen where she had, when they put the story out, they said she committed suicide.
No,
so I was like, that's interesting. Wonder why? I wonder if because she was on America's Got Talent. So
no,
I wonder if because she didn't get picked or what's going on. So I clicked it to look into the story, and then it says that she was just found in the freeway. I'm like, okay, well that doesn't mean she committed suicide. I mean, she could have like accidentally got hit. You know what I mean? Like she could have been running, on the sidewalk of the freeway and somebody hit her. Like,
yeah, that's
really. If you're going to put that in your tagline, you need to make sure that's what happened.
Right. I mean, there's got to be some sort of journalistic integrity. I mean, you got to do your due diligence and find out what the hell actually happened. Don't speculate too much.
People don't trust the media. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's an awfully big leap to make. But I mean,
yeah. I mean,
but
it's bad to do that, especially this and that's one of the things somebody pointed out. So why would you say that in a month that's dedicated to suicide prevention and awareness, and say that when that's not what happened when you read the story? It's
right.
kind of,
Yeah.
and it kind of feels like, oh, well, you just trying to get clicks
And
because
yeah. Sensationalism. Yeah.
and it's bullshit. Like, you should not do that.
It is. All right, I am going to anyway. I'm going to move over to we went off track a little bit there, but
I mean, it's fun.
yeah, but that's fine.
We're still
So yeah, it was still, music adjacent, because I mean we're talking about what Sharon does in her band, and she, it's her band, if her and the bandmates are down for that, and they're cognizant of the fact that, hey, this may rub some people the wrong way, then hey, as long as you know that, I mean,
And so this is the thing. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Used, but they were at the Warped Tour that I went to, and I'm like, wasn't nothing going on. I said, I'll go check them out. I know a couple of the songs, so I'll just go there. So 2 songs in, the lead singer seems to go, all right, man, blah, 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 blah. Let's get a fuck Trump chat going on. It's like, dude, man, really? Like, so I just walked away. And now, and and if I was anywhere and somebody did say, oh, go Brandon, I'm like, oh, dude, like, that's not what I'm here to say. I'm not here to hear
exactly.
you. I'm not here to either side. Like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
taking sides. I'm saying that I don't come there to hear your politics. If you want to be a politician, then take your ass on to CNN or MSNBC and talk to them about shit. I don't care. Like, I came to hear I came to hear your music.
Hush and play the music. So yeah, do the roar. So I mean,
the roar.
Do the roar. But son of a bitch. Moving over to Blabbermouth for my next one. Corrosion of Conformity's founding bassist Mike Dean has announced his departure from the band. Dean revealed his decision to leave Corrosion of Conformity in a statement posted on social media earlier today. He wrote, quote, recently I made a decision to step away from Corrosion of Conformity, a band started 40-odd years ago by Reed Mullen, Woody Weatherman, and myself. I'm extremely proud of everything we've done together and look forward to hearing more from the band going forward. When I rejoined COC for the finishing touches of the Deliverance album, I moved back to Raleigh, North Carolina for an all-in creative campaign, but time, distance, and side projects and life in general has changed all of that. Ever since Reed drifted away from the band and then passed away, it's been difficult for me to collaborate on new material with bandmates who live hundreds of miles away. I look forward to putting together a new Raleigh-based outlet to create new music with more alacrity and with more of an emphasis on my own ideas than in recent times. Also, I look forward to continuing to record and produce other artists. I wish all the best to Woodrow, Pepper, and the COC crew, and most importantly, many big thanks to the fans of all iterations of the band who made this real for all of these years. Salute, end quote. The remaining members of Corrosion of Conformity, Pepper Keenan, Woodrow, Woody Weatherman, added in a separate statement, quote, we, Woodrow and Pepper, are in full support of Dean's future endeavors and wish him all the best in the quest. Thankful for the music made and revolutionary paths created. That being said, this book of Corrosion is not finished, nor will the train stop. The opportunity to play music and create is something that we don't take lightly, and we will not waver. New COC recording is well underway and will be released in 2025. Much love and respect to all the free-thinking, beer-drinking friends and fans worldwide looking to make more. Without you, we are just growing death in a garage. See you on the horizon. Stay tuned, stay heavy, end quote. A year and a half ago, Corrosion of Conformity confirmed the return of drummer Stanton Moore for its upcoming album. The quote-unquote brutal-sounding follow-up to 2018's No Cross, No Crown is tentatively due in 2025. Mullen died in January 2020 at the age of 53. The drummer who co-founded Corrosion of Conformity in 1982 as a hardcore punk act alongside Weatherman and Dean had missed a number of shows in the preceding 4 years due to a variety of health issues, including an alcohol-related seizure he suffered back in 2016. So there we go.
I just want to do a PSA real quick. Like, if you're following us on Twitch or YouTube or even Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're following us, it is great. We appreciate it. But hey, Dana, what's up, man?
But there he is.
Yeah, but I want to say this: don't spam us with this, hey, we're going to, we would love to help you and reach your audience wider. Trust me, if we need that, we'll reach out to you. So I'll ban people like that, and I'll just tell you that up front. I don't play that shit. I don't like soliciting on my podcast.
Yeah, and we're definitely not gonna pay for followers. We're not doing that shit.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Like that's not what I'm here to do. When I'm not, we said this before. We're not here to get rich on making a podcast. We're here to share metal with metal family.
Yeah, the people who decide to follow us are following us for a reason.
Right. Yeah, it ain't
because they're interested in what we're talking about.
We didn't buy their love, that's for sure.
No, we did not.
Because we don't have the money to, for one. So
nope.
All my money is bunch of equipment over here that I need to be using.
Right.
My stuff did come in this week, so I plan on.
That's good.
T-shirts again this weekend. Hopefully, this one works out a lot better. Because I've tried a couple, and I'm like, yeah, some of it I could probably roll with if I tweaked it a little bit. Others were just like horrible. Like, we're not doing that. So,
yeah.
so I got a shirt over here with like 6 prints on it already. I'll follow y'all to give Jason shit.
That's good enough reason.
Yeah. We do the same at Metal and Tats. I mean,
that's right. Yeah, it's give and take.
It's a good. All right, my last one is over at Blabbermouth. YLE's 6-part podcast series, The World's Best Alexei Leo, tells the story of most revered Finnish metal guitarists of all time. The series explores the factors which influence Leo's virtuosic guitar playing in the band Children of Bottom, but it also delves into the many facets of his personality, relationships, and the challenges he faced in his final years of life. More than 30 people were interviewed for the World's Best Alexei Leo podcast. If they say this, how many times they say this? Count them. That's twice.
Okay, so that's twice. Okay, I'm keeping track.
Alexei's bandmates, friends, spouses, colleagues, and fans. The series also features Alexei's own idols, top guitarists like Kerry King, Steve Vai, and Zach Wild. Vi mentions in the podcast that Alexei was one of those guitarists who raised the bar for all other guitarists. King, known for his guitar work Slayer, believes that Alexei was a natural talent who could possibly shred like a god from the moment he picked up the guitar. One of Leo's greatest achievements, aside from his guitar playing, according to King, was that he made guitar playing interesting again in the U.S., where it was considered unsexy. The podcast series, The World's Best Alexei Leo, was originally released in Finland in June of 2024 and has been one of the most popular music-related podcasts of the summer. An international version of the English subtitles has been frequently requested by the fans of Children of Bottom and Alexei Leo outside of Finland. This version is now finally available. You can listen to the podcast with subtitles at yle.fi.
No, only 3.
Yeah, only 3. But
only 3.
I see it like a couple times. I'm like, oh man, I wonder how many times it's gonna make me say this.
That's kind of like a little thing we started doing here at the show, because I mean, and especially when we talk about Gibson guitars, or like whenever a musician signs an equipment deal, I mean they just beat that shit into the ground. So it's kind of like a little offshoot kind of thing we do.
Man, we got this 6-string bass we're coming out with. Martin Montnick, he kind of like, he's on board with it and all that stuff. We're just kind of giving him the thing, so it's going to be Martin Montnick's bass thing, strings, and blah 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 blah. And then, they'll be like, we've been working on this for like many years for the Martin Montnick.
Yeah, it's just
like, dude, we get it. Martin Montnick's supporting you, dude. Like,
yeah. It's pretty funny.
We follow most of those people, so if that's the case, then we're already going to know anyway, because they're going to post socials. So.
Right. Yeah. But it's funny to hear kind of how these stories get written up and put out the way they do. So
it's like, hey, you got to have a 100-word essay turned in by Tuesday. Oh, well, I'm just going to keep saying, the world's best Alexei Leo. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. So there's 20 words. Only got 80 more to go.
Right. it's a little bit of a loophole, you know.
Yeah. It didn't work in high school, but I'll
No,
just to tell you that
it apparently works in journalism. So
I tried. Yeah, evidently. I didn't know I was a
apparently,
journalist in high school. Look at that.
you were ahead of your time.
I was ahead of my time.
Yeah. All right, my last one is also over at Blabbermouth, and this one's an interesting one because this is something that I didn't know. Some of you out there may have heard this before, but I this was news to me. So, during a July 22nd, 2024 Kings of Thrash question and answer session at the Corner Hotel in Richmond, Victoria, Australia, former Megadeth bassist David Ellison once again confirmed that he got Dave Mustaine's blessing to audition for the bassist position in Metallica after James Newsted left the band nearly 24 years ago. Newsted exited Metallica in January 2001 after he clashed with James Hetfield over the release of an album by Echo Brain, Jason's side project. Now, we have talked about that before. He was replaced by producer Bob Rock in the studio for the recording of 2003's Saint Anger album, and then permanently replaced by former Ozzy Osbourne bassist Robert Trujillo, which we also know. Asked if he ever wonders what would have happened if he had landed the bassist gig in Metallica, Ellefson said, quote, in 2001, Megadeth had just recorded The World Needs a Hero. Dave called me and said, he said, he goes, hey, Lars called me and you're on a short list and asked if it would be okay if they reach out to you. And Dave said, he goes, there's no way I could stop you from that opportunity. You have my blessing. I gave Lars my blessing. Now they never called me, and I think they have the right man for the job. And Robert's fucking great. He's amazing. Ellefson went on to say that his preparation for the Metallica audition saw him learning how to play Metallica songs for the first time and not Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning, which was more similar to what we were doing in Megadeth, but the later stuff, even the Black Album, and just really played the bass lines and listened to how James put his phrasing of the vocals over top of the riff. It was like a whole other genre. It was shocking how different it was. And I actually had to ask myself if I wonder if I might not be the right guy for this, and not that I would say no, because what do? We say yes, right? That's the lesson of the day. Say yes. But it really was an eye-opener to me of how their music had transitioned from the early days. And they'd had great producers with Bob Rock. They were able to make very expensive albums and take the time to write and really dig deep and make records like they did with the Black Album and stuff. But it really taught me how different they were from what I was used to doing in Megadeth and working with Dave, and how he would write and how he would put his phrasing of his vocals over top. Because let's face it, when the singer starts singing, that's who we listen to, whether it's Dave or Paul Stanley or Bruce Dickinson or Ronnie Dio. The riffs could be awesome, but when the singer starts singing, whether you're a girl or a guy or whatever, you fucking listen to the singer. And look, it was my idea for Dave to be the singer in Megadeth. I didn't know that either. I was the one who said, dude, you got to sing, because he was writing the stuff at the time. And I said, there's no one who's going to come in here and sing that shit the way you're hearing it, the way you're feeling it. You're never going to be able to teach anyone how to do that. See, there's stuff that in that story that I didn't know. I never heard that before. When I'd read Dave Mustaine's autobiography, he said that he ended up singing because he was a control freak and didn't trust anybody else to sing it. So this is kind of like a he said kind of thing. So Dave Mustaine is claiming that he felt that he couldn't trust anybody to sing the songs. And then Dave Ellefson saying, is like, I'm the one who told him to sing because no one was going to be able to translate what he was writing onto a recording. So that was super duper interesting.
I'm kind of glad you brought this up because it reminded me, I read this story and I don't think I put it in my notes, but I don't know if you've heard this, but Scott Ian, when he wrote his book, years ago or whatever, that he was, he was real close to Cliff Burton. Born together, they were like born together. But Cliff had told him that once that the Master of Puppets tour was over, that they were talking about firing Lars. That was crazy to me to think that. But of course, Cliff Burton dying actually, kept that from happening.
It's all about the he said, she said. That's true.
Yeah, so that's kind of like one of those what ifs. It's like we didn't even think about that when we did. Well, I don't think we've done a what if with Cliff Burton yet, but I know we did with Don. But
wait, did we?
Or did we? Oh, we only did a couple of those.
Yeah, we've only done a couple, and maybe it's time to dust that one off. But we're gonna have to. Yeah, we'll have to go back and look, because I know we've only done a couple, and the one I know, like you said, one of the ones that we did was Dime.
I think the other one we did was John Bush. If he would have actually got the Metallica gig, I think we kind of.
Oh, you might be right.
I think that was one of them. I don't remember doing one with Burke. We may have.
Huh? You might be right. Well, we may. Well, we'll look into that. We'll try to figure that out. But
Yeah,
that's
definitely a
that
good one to do because that would have been a thing. And so if he didn't die, that's actually one of the things that could have happened. Was
could have
already
happened.
out of the band, and then you would have had some
Who knows? I mean,
bass and drums.
that would have been one hell of a domino effect. But that was my last story. I had another one that I just decided will turn into a headline.
It's all about the he said.
That's right.
I don't know, man. You put it in a book, it's kind of like, you'd like to think it happened.
Yeah.
Or was going to happen.
Right. But it's hard. But it's hard to tell because you got two different people claiming they were responsible for the same thing. So,
well,
who knows?
Other headlines: Whitechapel officially welcomes their new drummer to the band. He's been there for a minute now, so I don't think there was any doubt that he was going to wind up being a member.
Yeah, he's officially in a Whitechapel.
Yeah, Whitechapel, which will be seen next Friday.
Yep.
And Paul Diano to scale back touring after 2024 due to some health reasons. Hopefully that gets taken care of. He can get back to the roads.
Yeah, he's actually been through a lot. So
yeah, he has. Guitar phenom Maya Nelakantan joined Testament on stage for a triple guitar attack. That's pretty cool. I didn't see the video yet. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. It's pretty interesting picture I saw of it.
I did see, and I don't know if it was this past week, but the same girl, and like I know who she is. I can't remember how to pronounce her name either. It's one of those long ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw this, and like I say, I don't know if it was this week or the week before, but she performed. I want to say she performed "Master of Puppets" on a Dave Mustaine model guitar.
Oh wow! Insulting. Let's solve that one.
Yeah. And I would have to look back. I'm wanting to say it was actually a Dave Mustaine guitar. Like not one of his models, but one of his guitars. I'll look back and double check that. But when I saw that, I was like, good God, so I mean,
you got it on pristineauction.com.
Maybe.
All right, then. Cannibal Corpse's new plushie is adorable, gory. Adorably. Yep. I brought that up because I kind of think it's hilarious that that's what he does, is go to cream machines and get plush toys for kids, and then they come out with their own. So,
I'm surprised it took this long.
I don't think that'll be good to give to a kid, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah, right. Slipknot's Sean Clown Crahan missed the band aren't as close as they were in 1999.
Duh.
I mean, half of you aren't in the band anymore.
Yeah.
There are only three of you, or 3 or 4 of you. So.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Halford said another Judas Priest album is inevitable.
Yes.
If it's anything like the last one, bring it on, dude.
The last two. Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, last two.
God.
Seven Dust LeJean Witherspoon said there's no room for racism and ignorance in metal, and I agree with
Amen to that.
He actually talks about that a lot when he does his shows, of how he kind of came into the scene when black people were kind of frowned upon to be in metal. So
which made
Living Color
zero sense. God,
Living Color's already been out for what, probably 7-8 years at the time. They started probably
right. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when Seven Dust started. 94 or 7, somewhere around there. Either way, Living Color was back in the 80s. So
yeah.
You already had people. You had King's X was already around.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make much sense to me. But,
hell, Phil Lynott. I mean, he was decades before that.
Right? Yeah.
So that
You can even go back to Hendrix if you really want to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. So I personally, I love it. I do. I
Yeah.
love it. I love
That's
love
one great
seeing.
thing about metal is it's so diverse.
I do. I love seeing all the
You
different, you know,
talk
male,
about weaponry and
yeah, I do. I absolutely love it. I love going.
Shepherd's Reign and
Yeah, I'm so that
there's all kind of like
yeah,
that's
because
one
I
of the
mean,
things we like interviewing people, bands from other parts of the world.
yeah,
That's just to prove our point that metal is everywhere.
it's everywhere. That's actually one of the things I'm looking for. One of the many things I'm looking forward to this Friday, because I mean, there's going to be thousands of people at that venue. And I guarantee you, I guarantee you, they aren't all gonna be male, and they aren't all gonna be white. And that's awesome. And it's awesome. I
That's
absolutely
probably
love it.
from what I've seen at festivals. You're probably going to win that 9
Yeah,
times.
I absolutely love that. It's fantastic. Anyone wants to be a part of this scene is more than welcome in our eyes.
And that's the thing is like most metalheads don't look at somebody and snarl their nose because we're all there for the same reason. We don't
Exactly.
Most of them don't give, and that's another thing is like you bring this up is like we was talking about the religion telling me about the metal thing. I said, one of the other things I brought up was okay, when you go into the church pews and somebody walks in that you don't know, nine out of 10 of you guys are going to snarl your nose. Who's this guy?
Yep.
Metalheads don't do that. We're like, hey man, come on in.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Jump in this pit. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's
bars over there, merch tables are over there.
welcoming community for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, he's not wrong. There's no room for racism or ignorance. No.
I mean, this is 2024, man. We don't need to be. Yeah. What did Morgan Freeman say? How you end racism?
Stop talking about it. Yep.
You don't make it a thing, and nobody else is going to either. So.
Nope.
I mean, you're going to have those people. You're going to have several people.
There's always there's always going to be outliers because
people out there that don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately there's always going to be people who just can't be happy.
Right.
They just can't be happy, which means you're not going to be either. So I mean, it's just. Well, I mean, that's the way they look at it. They're like, if I'm not happy, you're not going to be. So I mean, you just
drag everybody down with you.
Right. But you know what? Go to a show and have a good time with everybody else. Go to a show.
Yep. Evanescence is to enter the studio in November on their next album. Shavo Adagian. I don't know. I can't ever pronounce it.
Yeah.
On the new System of a Down music, said my door is always open with that. So he's on board. I think the biggest issue
is Surge.
Is Surge.
It is. It's absolutely Surge.
Skunk and Nazi signs with Frontier's label group's new imprint FLG. So congrats. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Darkness announced their new album Dreams on Toast. Sounds metal.
I've never been a fan of the Darkness.
Should go. Hey, if you're going to go on that tour, you got to bring what's that?
Nutella.
Butter goes. Whatever the name of that. I butter my bread with butter or something.
Oh,
whatever the name of that band is. But they're actually
yeah.
They're actually pretty decent too. So I make fun of their name, but they're actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
But they can be on the Dreams on Toast tour for sure.
They can. It fits. It works.
That's right. Sebastian Bach doesn't care about alienating some of his fans with his political views, and I'm sure they don't give a shit. Go on tour with Ted Nugent, I guess.
Right.
Fallen in Reverse have become the first rock and metal band to receive a gold RIAA certification for their new studio album released in 2024. First one of 2024. Kind of crazy.
That is.
Michael Schenker's cover of UFO's classic Love to Love with Axl Rose finally emerges on the new UFO Years album. I haven't checked that out yet, but it's
me neither.
Check that out on Spotify. Production delays force Opeth to push the last Will and Testament to November. So you got to wait a little bit longer for a new Opeth album if you're a fan of Opeth.
Yep.
Saga's Michael Sadler is back home after undergoing surgery to treat rare form of aggressive cancer. I think I brought this up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He had been diagnosed. So good that he had the surgery and he's back home resting. So hopefully comes back negative season 6. And then last but not least, Ball Beats to begin recording their 9th studio album next week. So,
yep.
Any Ball Beat things there? Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, let me find real quick where I had it. The only thing that Slayer has unveiled their Raining Blood hot sauce, and let's see, Uriah Heep has announced a farewell tour. The reason why I'm saying this now is because they don't have dates yet, so they're announcing a farewell tour. And then where's the other one? Where is the one?
Seems like we talked about that Slayer hot sauce thing a couple weeks ago, though.
I may have. Let's see. Hang on just a second.
Some of these sources are behind each other.
Yeah, some of them are. And then the only other one I had, this was going to be a story. I decided to just turn it into a headline. System of a Down's John Dolmayan has announced his new original comic book series, Dead Samurai. So that's coming out soon. So. That was the only other one that I had.
Okay. All right, that will take us to our hitting the road, and hitting the road this week is loaded,
absolutely loaded.
The only one that I had, and I just kind of stayed with this the one. I was like, well, I'll let Chris take the triumph for the rest of it. But I had the Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine's announced their 2025 North American Anniversary Tour. With Argus Burns, Red, Silosis, and Bleed From Within supporting. Depending on what dates, you'll get Bleed From Within and Silosis. I think the first half or whatever, Silosis in the back half.
It was a pretty even split, yeah.
Argus Burns, Red is going to be at all of it. So, that's going to kick off on March 30th in Vancouver, British Columbia at the P&E Forum. That will end on May 18th in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Red Hat Amphitheater. And they will be in Nashville at the Pinnacle on May 11th, and then we found out. Well, actually, I found out from Chris that didn't sound familiar to me, and he said, "Well, that's because it's not open yet." So,
yep, it's going to be. It is a brand new venue inside a much larger complex that's being built downtown Nashville. So, I saw something the other day on Facebook. I think the first. What's that?
Amy just popped in. So.
Oh, all right, hey, Amy. I do believe the first show at the Pinnacle is at the beginning of March, so I think that's when the venue opens. I think Journey is going to be one of the first couple acts there. But yeah, as far as I know,
sorry if it's not with Steve Perry.
Hey, Arnel Pineda does a hell of a good job, but I'm with you though. But
I thought he got.
No, he's still in the band.
Oh, is he? Okay. I thought he got too. So.
No, he said that back when like the other guys were pissing and moaning and fighting. He said if they want to fire me, they can. So, but the other guys, John Kane and I think that's his name, Kane and Sean and Castronovo. I mean, Castronovo got arrested, and then Sean and Kane, they were fighting with each other's, and Arnel Pineda's like, if they want to fire me, just fire me. But I mean, as far as I know, the band is still together in its current incarnation, and he's still the singer. But Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine, that is going to be the first metal show at that new venue. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be really nice.
I haven't seen Bullet for My Valentine yet live.
I haven't either. So
I'm stoked. That's actually one of my bucket list. Actually, the funny thing is Bleed From Within. It's also another bucket list band of mine, so I get to knock out two in one night.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
When I seen this, I'm like, dude, if they have Trivium, Bullet for My Valentine, August Burns Red, Silosis, and Bleed From, oh my god, dude, that's fucking. Then I was read and I was like, oh, well, Silosis only one.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm
one of those bands too. I'd love to see live.
Yeah. All right, so I'm actually going to jump around my list a little bit because
Mhm.
not only did we have, because I mean the Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine show was announced first, so I'm super duper. I am really super excited about that. I've seen Trivium before; they put on a hell of a show, and I haven't seen Bullet for My Valentine yet. But not to be outdone, Metallica has announced their 2025 North American tour. They're doing their no repeat weekend on the majority of the bill. There are a couple of stops. I think Atlanta and Houston they're doing one night only. Um, but Pantera, Suicidal Tendencies, Limp Bizkit is an odd choice, and Ice Nine Kills are going to be appearing on the varying lineups. So one night is going to be Pantera, Suicidal Tendencies. The other night's going to be Limp Bizkit and Ice Nine Kills.
Where is the Atlanta show at? Is it at the Braves Field?
I think so. I believe
That's
so.
called. I bet
That
baseball's going. I
probably.
bet baseball's going on the same time.
Yeah. But so that tour starts April 12th, 2025 in Las Vegas, Nevada at Sick New World. That is going to be Metallica. That's going to be a festival appearance for Metallica. And then it's going to end on June 29th in Denver, Colorado at the Empower Field at Mile High. They're going to be in Nashville on May 1st and May 3rd at Nissan Stadium. May 1st is going to be the show with Pantera and Suicidal Tendencies. That's a Thursday. And then the 3rd is a Saturday with Limp Bizkit and Ice Nine Kills. And I will be damned if I'm not going to go see Metallica and Pantera on the same bill.
On the same bill? Jesus, dude. That's
yeah, I am. I'm going. So let's see. I mean, hopefully not, but
Tuesday, so we'll see what kind of prices they have.
Yeah, so we'll see. And another big show that got announced that hasn't been announced as far as North America yet, but that's coming. Iron Maiden has announced their 50th anniversary European and UK tour with Hailstorm, Avatar, and The Raven Age appearing at select dates on varying lineups. So they're not going to be doing the whole thing.
I mean, Iron Maiden, Avatar, dude, sign me up.
Oh God, I know. I haven't. I know you've seen Avatar. I have not. That's another band I need to see. But that tour starts May 27th in Budapest, Hungary at the Budapest Arena, finishing August 2nd in Warsaw, Poland at the PGE Narodowy. I don't know what that means. So let's see. All right, so talk about that one. And that one's, I'm going to go back up to the top of the list over at the PRP.com. We have Alcest, Kalen Mikla, and another opener that has not been announced yet, going on a North American tour, which will be Alcest's first North American tour in 7 years, starting February 19th, 2025 in Boston, Massachusetts at the Royale, finishing March 23rd in Brooklyn, New York at Warsaw. Mogwai is going on a world tour next year. No word yet on the openers. And this one is literally going all over the world. It's starting in the Netherlands. It's going to go to Japan, Taiwan. It's going to go Canada. It's going to end up in Dallas. I mean, this is a true, genuine world tour. This damn thing is going everywhere. So starts February 4th in Amsterdam, Netherlands at Paradiso, finishing May 4th in Dallas, Texas at the Echo Lounge. Dark Funeral, Flesh God Apocalypse, Ex Deo, and Kami no Ikari are going on a European tour starting January 2nd, 25 in Hamburg, Germany at the Market Hall, finishing January 25th in Leipzig, Germany at Hellraiser. Zach Sabbath, Zoso, the Led Zeppelin tribute band, and the Iron Maidens, all-female Iron Maiden tribute band, are going on a U.S. tour. And yes, Zach Sabbath is Zach Wild's Black Sabbath tribute band. So you got a triple tribute band U.S. tour coming up, starting December 1st in Phoenix, Arizona at the Regency Ballroom, finishing January 12th, 2025 in Oklahoma City at the Diamond Ballroom. They will be in Nashville on December 20th at Brooklyn Bowl. Quicksand has got some headline shows scheduled, starting March 14th in Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Music Hall, finishing March 24th in Detroit at the Magic Bar. Pantera and Power Trip are going on a European tour. Jason alluded to that earlier in the show. Starting January 21st in Helsinki, Finland at Ice Hall, finishing February 25th in London, England at the OVO Arena, Wembley. Deftones, the Mars Volta, which is an odd choice, and Fleshwater are going on a U.S. tour starting February 25th in Portland, Oregon at Moda Center, finishing April 9th in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. They'll be in Nashville on March 26th at the Bridgestone Arena. Unearth, E-Town Concrete, Josta, Within the Ruins, and Brick by Brick have been named as the opening acts for Shadows Falls, the War Within 20th anniversary show at the Palladium in Worcester, Mass. On December 21st, 2024. Enterprise Earth, Distant, The Last 10 Seconds of Life, and Harbinger are going to Europe and to the UK starting January 30th in Oberhausen, Germany at Cult Temple, finishing March 2nd in Antwerp, Belgium at Trix. Harbinger will not be at that show. A Perfect Circle, Pussifer, and Primus are going out on the second leg of the Sessanta Tour, starting April 24th in Palm Springs, California at the Acrisure Arena, finishing June 7th in Auburn, Washington at the White River Amphitheater. Mac Sabbath is going on their 10th anniversary tour in November with Super Suckers, Black Sabbath McDonald's theme tribute band, if you didn't know. Starting November 9th in Los Angeles, California at the Regent Theater featuring Guttermouth, which is their only date on the tour. Finishing November 24th in Bend, Oregon at the Domino Room. Aborted, Crypta, The Zenith Passage, and Organectomy are going to Europe and to the UK starting April 24th in Tilburg, Netherlands at Net 013, finishing May 25th in Liverpool. They're going to be in Liverpool, England at the O2 Academy 2. Vulvodynia and Malice have announced some mid-December UK tour dates. December 11th in Nottingham at the Salt Box. December 12th in London at the Underworld featuring Ingested and Pint Glass. December 13th in Manchester at the Bread Shed featuring Ingested and Pint Glass. December 14th in Plymouth at the Junction, and December 15th in Swansea at Sin City. LS Dunes and Rise Against are going out with Spiritual Cramp and Cloud Nothings doing the same thing. They're splitting like half and half of the tour, doing opening duty. Starting October 14th in Denver, Colorado at the Fillmore Auditorium, finishing November 22nd in Del Mar, California at The Sound. They'll be in Nashville on November 5th at Marathon Music Works. Cloud Nothings will be the opener at that show. The only other thing I have is over from metalsucks.net. Cytotoxin, Cognitive, Blindfolded, and Led to the Woods, and Inoculation are going on a North American tour starting November 8th in Philadelphia at Milk Boy, finishing November 26th in Baltimore at Metro Gallery. So.
And also, I forgot to mention when we were talking about Metallica, Sonic Temple also confirmed to Metallica will be playing the No Repeat weekend at their festival. They announced Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains also as first acts for the lineup 2025.
Yeah, that'll be quite the festival too. So,
and that's a DWP festival. So I mean, they may wind up getting talked into doing Louder in Life or something next year too. So,
yeah,
because I think they only had the tour that you announced was only through May, wasn't it?
Oh shit. Hang on.
It wasn't all the way through the summer, I don't think.
Where did it go? Let's see. Mid-April through late June.
Yeah. So, this festival's in September, so he could very well talk them into coming to that one too. So.
Sure. Absolutely.
Aftershock. I think Aftershock's late.
Yeah. But yeah, there's going to be, man, there are some heavy hitters next year. I mean, Metallica and Pantera on the same tour, Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium, and Iron Maiden going overseas. They're gonna be here.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee you they'll be here.
That's an anniversary tour. They'll
yeah. That's
probably why they don't have any kind of album news, because they're
they're going to be touring heavy. Yeah. It's crazy to think that, I mean, they're still going strong, like 50 years. I mean, that's bonkers that Steve Harris put that band together in 1975. It's fucking nuts. It's insane. But, I mean, Bruce Dickinson still runs around like he's in his 40s.
And to let you know this, we just kind of found this out today. We were looking through, like, when we go on trips, we always like, let's go see if there's shows around. We can go check out a venue we've never been to, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just wound up at the machine shop.
Right. Yeah.
That's a history. A bunch of history has been in that building. So a lot of the bigger bands you see now have played in that building.
They have.
And just going in there, and I can just go in there and stare at the pictures on that wall. That's just wild. Dude. It's crazy. Anyway, so we're about to go to Arizona. So we thought, hey man, is there anybody playing out there? While we're going. Well, needless to say, probably one of the best lineups, biggest concerts I've been to in a while. So we're going to wind up going to see Korn and Gojira.
Oh wow!
At an amphitheater out there in Arizona. And I'm just yes, sign me up.
Wow.
So yeah, Constantine's already on board going with us.
Oh, see, that'll be fun.
Pretty cool. So I said, hey man, you want to take off work and go to this? He said, why, hell yes.
Yeah, that was. I guarantee you that was a no-brainer for Constantine. Well, that's awesome.
Like I said, I was expecting to find some little, Ricky Dink show in some club somewhere, and I was like, wait, what? Corny Gojira? I don't know. Okay, hell yeah. Sign me up for that shit then.
Yeah. Well, good. I mean, I'm glad you guys are going to get to do that. That's going to be fun.
Something we like to do. It happens to be something in the area.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Telling her, I said, well, you may not need to take we may not need to take, I told her to take, I said, well, we have to make sure we pack the earplugs. And then she's like, then I was like, yeah, you know what? Never mind. It's probably out. It's outside. So we should be good. She goes, it's Gojira. That's, yeah, good.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
That's like the loudest band I've ever heard outside.
Yeah.
If they're not deaf by now, and if they don't wear proper ear protection,
they do. Yeah, I guarantee you they do. I guarantee you they do. Hell, they're environmental activists. I guarantee you they're taking care of their ears.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like that was another. Like we finally watched the video of that last week too. That's because I me and you were talking about it, and I said, well, I hadn't really. And you were talking about it a little bit, and then Susie's like, "Well, I hadn't seen it either. Let's watch it." So we were in bed, and me and her was sitting there watching it, and so there was comments on it. It was like, "Oh, that's satanic ass," blah 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 blah. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You do know these guys like bought rainforest so you can breathe, right?
Yeah, no. See, that's the thing. That's what we talked. Like when we talked about it last time. I mean, people just. I mean, it's ignorance. It's just ignorance. That's all it is.
That's like me busting up into some courtroom and start talking about how the law should be. Bro. I don't know that. I don't know anything about the representing no damn body.
Yeah.
I mean, I could represent them on common sense, but other than that, I'm screwed.
Well, I mean, it's just, saying that every heavy metal band is satanic and like every metal fan is, worship Satan is like going to a rap concert and saying everyone's here is a criminal, or going to a country concert and saying everyone here fucks their sister. It's just, it's just ignorance. It's all it is. It's ignorance.
People educate yourself. All right. That will take us into our very lengthy theme in the show.
I like these long lists. I love these.
Yeah, sometimes I talk myself into stuff, and I'm like, I'll hear like something that triggers an idea, and I'm like, oh, well, let's do that. And then I get into it, and I'm like, man, I only got 6 songs.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit,
what did I do to myself?
Right.
Yeah, definitely did. There's definitely no shortage of songs with this week's.
I think you got the easier half. Like I said, I ended up with 20, but I'll save mine. I'll save my commentary until it's my turn.
Yeah. We went the theme of the week, never and always. So I kicked mine off with, of course, Metallica, Through the Never. Metallica 1, with the Black Album, whatever you want to call it. Then I went with Lamb of God, Nevermore from Omens 2022. I went with Nonpoint, Never Ending Hole from The Return 2014. I went with Megadeth, Never Dead from 13 2011, which wasn't a very receptive album. There's some good stuff.
There was some good stuff on 13. It was Super Collider that wasn't good.
Oh, that's right, Super Collider. That's right.
Yeah.
Then I went with Armored Saint, Never You Fret from Punching the Sky 2020. Then I went with Hatebreed, Honor Never Dies from The Divinity of Purpose 2013. Then I went with Motionless in White, Billy in 4C, Never Saw It Coming. When Love Met Destruction in 2009. Then I went with Mark Morton, The Never from Anesthetic 2019. Lacuna Coil, Never Dawn. That was a single in 2023. I'm not sure if that's going to be a new album or not. I guess we'll find out soon enough, because I don't think that's should be on the list here pretty soon. November, maybe?
We'll have to look.
Yeah, I can't remember. Then I went with Tetrarch, You Never Listen from Unstable 2021. Then I went with Unveil the Strength, Hell's Not Over. That was a single in 2019. Then I went with Exporter. Actually, a little tidbit on this Unveil the Strength. Everything that I found on them is all singles. They haven't, like, so for some reason, they've been doing singles since 19, but haven't put out an album. So, so what's up with that?
Interesting.
Then with Exporter, The Man That Never Was. That was a single.
Oh, such a good song.
Then I went with Five Finger Death Punch, Never Enough from The Way of the Fist 2007. Then I went with Judas Priest, Evil Never Dies. Firepower 2018, which I could have went with another song from that same album.
Can add it after the fact.
Yeah, we can. Then went with Dee Snider, Down But Never Out from Leave a Scar 2021. Then went with Rob Zombie, Never Gonna Stop, The Sinister Urge 2001.
Yeah, the Red Groovy.
That's right. Then I went with Korn, You'll Never Find Me from the Nothing 2015. I went with Vendel, Never Surrender, Out in the Fields 2024. That was a new album. That's actually the only reason I thought of it, because that was actually fresh on my mind. It has released a few weeks ago.
Nice.
It's been recent. Then with Bonham Burning Body, Never Alone from the Southern Hostility 2019 album. Then with Hollow Front, Good Things Never Last from the Fear of Letting Go 2023. Then went with Disturbed, Never Again from Asylum 2010. Then with Killswitch Engage, Never Again from Killswitch Engage 2009. And of course, you'll see a brain storm here kind of kicked in when I got the Never Again. So,
okay.
So, Kitty, Never Again from Funeral for Yesterday 2007. Then I went with Arch Enemy, Never Forgive, Never Forget. Two for there.
Yeah, you did.
Or Eternal 2014. Then Ozzy, Never Know Why from The Ultimate Sin 1986. And then last but not least, I went with Accept, Never Forget from Stalingrad 2012.
Nice.
So
yeah.
Very lengthy list there. I actually probably could have went further, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I need to stop. Damn. I actually didn't realize how many I had. I had to like count them. I was like, oh, shit. That's that. I didn't realize I had. I was thinking, I probably got like 13, 14.
Yeah, 25 later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, like I was saying, I think because all of yours had Never in them.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I also like about doing this is, since we started doing this and that and this thing, is obviously we did that because we were running into a lot of lists where we ended up having the same. Right. So it was a good idea, and it was a good idea, just kind of like it was like a fresh idea. So I like that we're doing it. The funny thing is like sometimes it's not always cut and dry. It's not always so easy to do both halves. Now, I said you probably got the easier half because there were songs that I immediately thought of. The only problem is most of them were power ballads. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with a good power ballad, but I try to avoid those for this kind of thing. I may add one or two of the ones that I was thinking of, but the cool thing is what I like doing, and you and I have both done this before, is looking for like synonyms, like,
right.
Kind of like, all right, what can
I'll tell you this, when I thought of this idea, the first thing I thought of was synonyms. So that's why I was like, oh, this will work, because he could use always, forever.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff.
Absolutely.
Like
yeah.
So that's the reason I took on this. I was just like, because I was kind of worried about it at first. I was like, I need to make sure that I do these where we can actually find enough songs.
Right. Yeah.
Because I have run into a couple of them. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do this. And then I'll get to look, and I'm like, yeah, there's really not a lot out there that we can.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to use it. So I'll scrap it. I mean, every theme of the week's not a winner. So
right. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I say every theme of the week, on the project board is not a winner. So you throw it out and start over.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So yeah, I got to have a little fun with some synonyms on this one.
Cool.
And you know, and I did come across two bands that I haven't listened to before,
So
which is
yes.
also cool. So leading off, I had Always by Flotsam and Jetsam off of The Cold from 2010. Then I had Why Does It Always by Hell Yeah off Band of Brothers from 2012. Then I had It's Always Worth the Gain by Crowbar off of Zero and Below from 2022. Then I had Into Eternal Night by Diamond Falcon off of Gates of Hell from this year. They are a traditional heavy metal band from Berndorf, Austria. Then I had From Here to Eternity by Iron Maiden off Fear of the Dark from 1992. Then I had Screaming Always by Violence off Let the World Burn from 2022. Then I had You Always Walk Alone by Halloween off Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2 from 1988. Then I had There Will Always Be Blood by Exhumer off The Raging Tides from 2016. Then I had Forever by Creator off of Outcast from 1997. Then I had Always Running by Black Majesty off Children of the Abyss from 2018. They are a power metal band from Melbourne, Australia. Then I had Live Forever by Hellfire off of Free Again from 2017. I had Endless Night by Trivium off The Sin and the Sentence from 2017. War Eternal by Arch Enemy off the album of the same name from 2014. Forever One by Cobra and the Lotus from their self-titled album from 2012. Then I had The Constant by Anthrax off Worship Music from 2011. Forever Dead by Rage off of their album 21 from 2012. Constant Heart by Primal Fear off of Rule Breaker from 2016. Lockdown Forever by Tankard off of Pavlov's Dogs from 2022. Eternal Mayhem by Ectomorph, which was a single from 2018. And my last one was Forever and Beyond Despair by Exhorter off of Defectum Omnium from this year. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good playlist.
yeah, it will. And there was one that I've already got like always, I already built the playlist. I have it ready to send to you. And there was one that I thought of for yours. I'm like, I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to hedge my bet that you don't have it, and you don't. It's Neverlasting by Sentenced off of The Cold White Light. So,
like I said, I probably could have figured it out at some point, but I was like, man, I got to stop because I actually had some stuff pulled up and I could have kept going. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna. And actually, there was a couple of songs on there I chose not to use because it had the word metal in it, and we had talked about doing a playlist together.
yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna leave that off because I think that's probably gonna. I think I'm planning on doing that right after we do the year in review show. That's gonna be our first playlist of January.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Metal 2.0. I like it.
Metal 2.0 right after the beginning of 2020.
So. That's right.
So you got the leak here first. So if you remember 3 months from now. So.
Yeah.
So they probably won't get brought up again. So.
Now that we know what the plan is, we don't have to bring it up. So
you really used your synonym bucket there for that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that was a fun one to do.
It was. I got a couple more I wrote down while I was thinking about it. I don't know where my other. I'll find the other sheet one of these damn days, I guess, when I'm cleaning, and be like, oh yeah, there's that sheet.
Yeah. I have one. I have one in my head that I'm thinking about proposing, but I want to do the same thing that you do. I want to make sure that there will be enough for both. But I've got one that I've been kind of kicking around in my head, but I want to make sure that there's going to be enough. So if I find that there's enough, I'll let you know what I think, and then we can throw it in there somewhere.
I usually play with it a little bit, and if there's at least 5 or 6 songs I can come up with, I just starting out, then I'm like, okay, we could probably make a playlist out of this.
Mm-hmm.
If it gets difficult after a third one, I'm just like, yeah, maybe we need a backup.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that will bring us to, well, you know what? I didn't even share anything from last week. I'm horrible. Did the playlist, didn't even share the last one. So.
Yeah, we do need to do that. And remember, like I said last week, I did change the Spotify account because, like I say, it was just under my name for the longest time. But I actually did change it to Metalheads Unite Podcast, so it should be easier to search.
there is the playlist for last week's Can and Can't.
Mm-hmm.
Playlist there. So give me. We'll go through the album reviews, and then while Chris is reading off the following weeks, I'll throw in the weekly playlist there.
Cool.
Talk about that a little bit too. Involved in new stuff, I guess. Actually, I may do that. I'll throw in that up a little bit, and we can go get the albums. Even though we're not going to be doing a show, we'll still do some album reviews for you guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So anyway,
the cool thing is on Friday, we're going to be driving up to Louisville and back. I mean, that's like that's like 6.5, 7 hours of drive time, combined. Yeah. So we can knock out quite a few new albums next week. So.
Yep, you can get double.
Yeah.
Horns on everything.
That's right.
Well, you get both of us doing reviews on the same thing, which is kind of odd. We usually don't do that, so it'd be interesting.
That is true. It'd be a little different.
Yeah. All right, album review time here. I went with a band called Born Broken. The album was Am I Invisible? There. Didn't find a lot on the band as far as like where they what year they started or anything like that, but I'm going to guess it was probably 2015-ish. I think their first album was in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I take that back. It was 2013, so they have been around a little bit. 2013, 2018, and then the newest album. So they've been around a little bit. So, I did see a lot of reviews on this, when I was looking up stuff, and I was like, I'm just curious what they say. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I kind of like don't want to repeat what somebody else says. I kind of like, And plus, they're more in detail with stuff than I am, anyway. So it's kind of like, I don't want to be repeating something that they went over in a big long thing, and I'm just like this short, and kind of makes it look cheesy in my opinion. But that's just
right.
Anyway, I was reading some of that, and they said that that the band has changed their sound some. So I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe the older stuff wasn't as hard as this. I don't know. It said they kind of went a different direction here lately. Worth checking out. So I'll probably check out some of their older stuff too. So they are a band. They are a metal band from Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
Oh, nice.
Their current lineup is Mike Marino on bass, Michael Deckert on vocals and guitars, Carlos Ojeda on drums. Curious, Carlos Ojeda. Wonder if there's any relation.
Sure as hell is possible.
It is, yeah, very possible. Then Rob Hinks on lead guitar. He was actually the newest member added after the recording of the album, so he's like brand new. So kind of crazy that they did that with just the vocals, guitar, drums, and bass. Once you realize some of the band similarities in this, you'll be like, oh wow, that's crazy that 3 of those guys sound like 10 of the other guys. This is the band's third full-length album, 10 tracks, 47 minutes, 33 seconds in length. So yeah, it's kind of a normal listen, I would think. First thing I detected was definitely a Slipknot influence, and then I actually read some stuff up in a lot of other. When I was reading a lot of the other reviews, they were actually saying the same thing, like it was Slipknot, Chimera, bands like. So I wasn't far off, I don't guess, since everybody else was kind of hearing the same thing. This album is like straight to the point, fast paced, in your face. The timing on the instruments, even with the pauses in here and there, was like dead on target. It's like everything paused. Like when something paused, like everything paused. It wasn't nobody still playing or nothing. It was like pause and then back in.
Oh, nice.
It was like I was like, man, that's pretty badass. So that was pretty cool. I think the timing on the instrument, like I said, repeating myself. Drumming and bass were coexisting, perfect harmony, perfect timing. And it's crazy because, like I say this a lot, because it's hard to pick out a bass, from the drumming, because usually, they kind of go so close you can't really like hear the differences.
Yeah.
And a lot of these songs, you're just like, dude, you can hear the bass in this, even with the drums like blasting. It's like so cool. Like I don't know what they did different, than some other bands to get that, but it was just like so awesome to actually be able to pick that out. Because I'm a bass, I'm a bass player. So, that's one of the hardest things to pick out, unless you're playing Crazy Train.
Well, yeah.
But
or Rush.
yeah.
And play it up high.
So nice breakdowns throughout. Man, with the guitar work, vocally, it's mostly screams and very well done, as you can imagine, with kind of comparing to some older Slipknot stuff from maybe this self-titled album or Iowa, that kind of that era. So one of those songs, like, soon as I like heard it, it just had a people equal shit vibe the whole time. I was like, man, it's so people equal shit. It wasn't exactly like it, but it just gave you that vibe. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So, guitar work was impeccable, whether it was the beginning of a track or during a little solo. Just very well done. This release, with this release and Vended self-titled album came out this week too on the same day. And it's just, there's a lot to love if you're a Slipknot fan. I just say that.
Which I do want to listen to that new Vended album from. I've heard good things. I've heard good things.
So, one thing that I did want to point out is like the ending of this album was cool, because it was like a 5-minute 7-second instrumental. That's how it went out.
Nice.
It's called "The Day I Died Inside." I mean, it was so good. Like I was like the end of it before I looked down and realized, oh shit, that was all instrumental. Like I was so into it. Like I didn't even pay attention that there were no vocals. For the most part, I was just like, man, this is badass. And I was
nice.
Like, wait, they haven't sang yet. And I looked down, it was like 4:47. I'm like, yeah, they're probably not going to.
Right.
So it's pretty crazy, but yeah, definitely, this was an easy 4-horn album, dude.
Nice.
It's probably pushing 4.5, but I kind of like.
All right, I got you. Nothing wrong with that.
4.3. How about it?
4.3. Are we gonna start doing like quarter horns? Like
knuckle.
Like knuckles. Yeah, let's just do
4 and a
4 and a quarter horn, or like that quarter horn. Just do a quarter horn. Yeah. We're doing too many decimals. It's too many decimals. Too many decimals. All right. My album review, and we're going to talk about the one from the dude before we finish this up too. So
yeah.
Did you got all the way through it? The dude?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. All right. My album review this week is by Eradicator, The Paradox. They are a 4-piece thrash metal band formed in Lennestadt, Germany in 2004, consisting of Sebastian Zappi, not sure, on bass, Jan-Peter Stober on drums, Sebastian Stober on guitar and lead vocal, and Robert Weid on guitars. This is their 6th full-length studio album. I'll admit I cheated a little bit on this one because I know of Eradicator. I know we do a lot of these blind, but I know of them, but I've never like listened to any of their stuff. So I cheated like a little.
Oh, not really. If you hadn't listened to others,
right? So, but it was a name that I knew though. So that's kind of just a little bit.
But still, it's like you weren't familiar with their music though, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
heard of them.
Right. Their debut album, The Atomic Blast, came out in 2009. Obviously, they had 4 albums in the middle leading up to The Paradox this week, today. It is 10 tracks long, 50 minutes and 30 seconds. So, a little lengthier than you would expect for a thrash album, which was fine. And I mean, Germany is phenomenal when it just comes to thrash metal. It's insane how good this country is with putting out thrash metal bands. Them, Destruction, Creator, of course, Tankard. I mean, the Teutonic movement coming out of Germany is insane. Destruction. I mean, Sebastian Stober, his vocal style reminds me exactly of Schmear of Destruction. It's nuts. I mean,
Really?
a higher pitched, raspy, borderline screaming kind of vocal style, clean all the way through, but he's kind of got like a raspy alto he's got going on. Kind of reminds me, like I say, of Smear of Destruction. But I mean, guitar riffs are fantastic. I mean, the drums, they chug along like they're supposed to, the double bass in all the right spots. Even some of the bass lines, were very, very well done and predominant. I seem to like here lately, especially like over the past like this year, especially, I've noticed that in both of our album reviews, we seem to be talking a lot about like the emergence of some of the bass lines. Like bass lines are kind of being given their due finally. I mean, of course, there are plenty of bass heavy albums, but it seems like more and more we're talking about bass lines as far as like the bass guitar, not the bass drum. But the bass guitar has been been being moved to the forefront, which is good because I mean, it obviously it adds it's a vital cog in the engine. So it's nice when you're able to hear it. There was only one song on the album that had any sort of mid or down tempo, and it was track 7, the 11th hour. But it was kind of just like a little bit of a precursor to like a crescendo to the ramp up to back to the up tempo. But like I say, very well done. Pacing, composition, riffs, solos, vocals. I mean, I was impressed by all of it. 4 horns without question on this one too. So, I mean, it's getting to the point where you just really can't go wrong listening to a thrash metal band out of Germany.
All right, so we will talk about the Dude a little bit.
The Dude and their new album Dissonance. Supposed to be released today, with the rest of them, but I think it came out on 18th or 19th. It was Thursday, or it was just, well, we're into Saturday now, by a few minutes. So let's see, 20. So Wednesday or Thursday, yeah, it was earlier this week. So it got a little bit of it got like a 48 or 72 hour jump on the rest of them. But
on the 17th, yeah,
17th. Okay, so yeah, about a 72 hour jump on the rest of them. And we got to listen to a little bit of it ahead of time because they did come out with the Final Girl, the little snippet of the music video we played at the start of the show. I really liked the way this album was put together. Yeah. Brian has got a very, very unique vocal style unto himself. Not to say that he's like the only person who sings that way, but man, there aren't many people who sing like him, and it makes for a pretty distinct and unique listening experience. Because I mean, he really focuses on higher pitched vocals. He can bring it down and he can clean it up, but he's got a higher pitched, almost. It's weird. It's almost like a lower range soprano singing style, which is very, very. It's unique. I hate saying unique over and over and over again. But I mean, it's distinct. It's unique, and it's not really
one of a kind, because I mean, it's not really one of a kind.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's not one of a kind, but it's something you definitely don't hear often. Yeah. But he goes throughout the album, carrying that vocal style throughout most of the time. Because he adjusts his pitch, and like I say, he even's got some parts where he does some full-fledged borderline melodic cleans, which adds a nice little twist. But I mean, everything is
one of the earlier tracks on that like really amazed me because he was in the raspy stuff, and then he just carried this like scream right after.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, that's just like listening to him talk, and then listening to the first few songs that we've heard. Like I did not expect. I'll just be honest with you. I was just like, wow, this is like unexpected. I didn't know that he could actually carry it like that. That's
Yeah.
pretty fucking great, man. That you have that much. You know, and we use diversity a lot too, but I mean, he has that much diversity in his
He
vocals.
really does. Yeah. He has quite the repertoire vocally, especially since, when he did admit during the interview that a lot of his vocal technique is influenced by smoking, but
Right.
he made that admission to us, but he does have quite the repertoire regardless of, how many, how many cigarettes he does smoke. But, I
Get a trio with Marge Simpson's sisters and him and
yeah. But I mean,
mm.
yeah. But to me it was, I mean, his vocals aside, his
It's working for
vocals,
him.
yeah. But I mean, his vocals aside, to me the album was very drum heavy. It was very drum centric, which is
Yeah.
fine. I like that. But especially Final Girl, that last song, Final Girl, is very, very drum heavy. But and the music video was cool because it was like everybody in the band was in it. And, like some of the people that, some of their, you could tell some of their friends were in it. It was very well done. It was it was, I really liked it. But I think they really upped kind of like the production, the composition. I mean, they did a really good job with the presentation of the album as a whole. I did like the fact that we actually, let me pull this up real quick, that we actually got, let's see, that we got, man, I'm going to have to address their, I forgot I have to address their Encyclopedia Metallum page because it doesn't even have the new album on it. But because obviously that needs to change. It needs to be updated. But and the album cover is so badass. But we got 13 tracks. Thankfully 10 of those are actually full-fledged original tracks. Because you had a instrumental introduction with Down the Rabbit Hole, which was 2 minutes and 22 seconds. But it's cool because the way it worked is with it being an instrumental and we call it Down the Rabbit Hole, it was kind of like letting you know where you were about to go in the album. So I liked that. And then we had a couple of little interlude sections. You had Disorder at track number 8, 1:03, and then you had Cut, which was literally a prelude, which could have been used for an introduction to the Final Girl, but but it was still very well done. It was dark where it needed to be. It was dark and it was ominous where it needed to be. It was nice and up tempo where it needed to be. It was heavy all the way through. So I thought it was a very, very good follow up to the last album.
I like that too about you pick the first song that says Down the Rabbit Hole. It's like usually when you click your first video on YouTube, that's usually where you go, right?
Exactly. So yeah, I thought it was really
play on. I like the little play on.
Yeah, it was
And
a great
Girl, of course, was the final track. So
yeah, so the track listing was a very thoughtful build of the track listing. So yeah, I'm giving it 4 horns.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, sorry. So hell, we got 4 of a kind on 4s this week. So I like it. 4s for everybody. Just making it rain with 4s.
So. That's right. There's the playlist for this week's new metal releases there. And if you want a little sneak peek, I'll kind of give you a heads up of kind of what you expected there. That new, you got the 2. You're going to have songs from the 2 bands we actually reviewed. You're going to have a new Nightwish song in there.
Yeah, that's an album that I need to listen to.
New Vended song in there.
I need to listen to that.
So a new Void of Vision song in there, and I'm bringing that up because that is a what you call it. I just went behind. I just lost my train of thought.
Void of Vision, train of thought.
Yep. Anyway, I thought that was one of the Scarlet Records bands. If I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Yeah,
I think I believe it is. Hang on, I could tell you.
I thought that's one of the stuff they emailed us.
I believe it is. Hang on. Oh shit! Hang on. I feel a sneeze coming.
I thought there was another band that they had that released something this week too.
Yeah, Krilloan.
Hello, yeah.
Yeah, it was them. Let's see. I know that I know. Oh, it was. It wasn't Void of Vision. It was Vision Divine.
Gotcha.
But
I knew it was Vision.
Yeah, it was Vision Divine and Krilloan.
Right.
Yeah.
Those two had releases. And then if that wasn't enough for the record label, Never Obey Again, which we talked to a few weeks ago, had a new single come out as well. So.
A new single and video.
Yep. Yeah. They're not going to release a single without a video. If you watched our podcast,
right,
they'll tell you how they do.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely.
Luckily, they have people in the band that kind of are double talented. So.
Yeah. Some of them more than double talented. Jesus Christ. True. But yeah, so they've got their stuff. They've got their stuff handled over there at Never Obey Again. They've got it handled.
Yes, they do. And it's good for them because they don't have to come out of pocket for a lot of stuff.
Right.
That they would normally have to with video, producers and directors and all that kind of stuff. So
yep.
Do it all themselves and save a lot of money. So.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if that wasn't enough, we had some new tracks from bands like Tetrarch. Didn't know that they had a new release out this week. So
I did see that. I need to listen to that.
Oh man, so good. Hope there's a new album pretty soon. Then there was the bleeding through had a new song out. So,
I completely forgot about that one.
Yep. Blossom and Jessamine had a new single come out off the I Am the Weapon album. So, and then there's the band called The Crown that actually shared the video to this Gone to Hell song. I actually put that on there because that's a pretty good track.
It's a banger.
I forgot to mention Drowning Pool had a new song out. So
you're right, they did. I forgot about that one too.
And we had bands like Attack, Escuela Grind. A couple of those bands.
It's hard. It's really hard to keep all this stuff together. It really is.
Good stuff. There's some good stuff that I haven't listened to yet. There's a band called Neptune. I wanted to check that album out. I like that single that they put out. So.
A lot of good stuff.
They had Anubis. They had a new album out.
Yeah, I know. I need to listen to that too. I mean,
I'm saying there's so much good stuff coming out. There was good stuff in it.
Yeah, gonna be busy.
And don't sleep on it. And if you do, then there's the little thing you see floating there. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but you see the little ticker down at the bottom there. That is our radio station. All that stuff will be on there.
Absolutely.
But I can't guarantee that you're going to hear it. So I can't control the way it's played.
Yeah, it's.
Mac has set up stuff where it would play certain songs at certain times, but then I have to go in and reset it every day. So
yeah,
I just let it shuffle.
Yeah.
At some point, we get time. I might wind up doing some like live stream new release stuff.
That would be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun.
At some point, maybe we both get some time to do that. We'll set aside an hour or two and just play some of the new tracks and try to talk.
I would love that. That'd be fun. Yeah, we should look into that. And
on rainy nights that we can't do a fire.
Right? Yeah, we should. Well, and speaking of new stuff to listen to, we will look ahead to this coming Friday, September 27th. Leading off, man, this one's going to take a minute, so bear with me. Leading off with Adorior with Bleed on My Teeth. Please don't. That's gross. Agent Steel with Mad Locust Rising live at Hammersmith Odeon. Amethyst with Throw Down the Gauntlet. The Amity Affliction with Let the Ocean Take Me. Are We Lost with Heredity. Arcona with Stella Pandora. Awake the Dreamer with Holocene. Balish Toth with Equation. That's an EP. Battle Sword with 25 of Tales and Tragedies. Between Sunset and Sunrise in the Middle of Chaos. Bewitcher with Spell Shock. The Black Dahlia Murder with Servitude. Blue Heron with Everything Fades. Boogeyman with Rotten Leaves. Bottomless and Witching Hour with Graveyard Thunder. That is a split. Cantervice with Zero Hour, Crypt of Reason with Stargazer, Cyborg Octopus with Bottom Feeder, Destroy Rebuild Until God Shows with Until God Shows, Diablation with Irreverence, Distant Dominion with Ripping Through Time, Electric High with Colorful White Lies, Emasculator with The Disfigured and the Divine, that's an EP. We have Endonomos with Endonomos 2, Enlightenment. We have N. Esh with Dance Hall Putsch, Epic Down with Days of Oblivion, Exuvial with The Hive Mind Chronicles Part 1, Parasitica. We have Faché with Violent Owl Volant, Flourish with Deepest Wellsprings of Being, The Forest Forgets with Of Wind and Willows, that's an EP. Forsaken Right with The Forgotten West, that's an EP. Glorious Bank Robbers with Rock and Roll Church, Grava with The Great White Nothing, Hagalas with Mentis Ray, The Healing Process with Theme and Variations, Hellish God with The Advent of Deathless Chaos Beast, Harriot with Devoured by the Mouth of Hell, High Parasite with Forever We Burn, Ian Gothe and Fernando Perdomo with Never Let Go, a tribute to Camel, Infirmum with From the Depths I Cried, Ingurgitating Oblivion with Ontology of Naught, Envers Noir with Amen for Oblivion, Jaded Heart with Intuition, that's an EP, Kiteser with Pandemonium Humanitas, Kibosh with Your Favorite Curse, KYMI with Liha, Lancet with Psilocybe Similan. Okay, hold on. Psilocybe Similanciata. Sure. Liliavars Brawn with Helia Core, Lizard with Mesh, Magnetar with There Will Be No Peace in My Valley, Marche Fenubre with After the Storm, Matt Finucane with Bang Bang Exorcism, that's an EP, Mechanic Tyrants with Saint Damien Riots, or Saint Demon Riots, Midnight Force with Severin, Mirror Queen with Dying Days, Nehoda with a self-titled album, Obsidian Mantra with As We All Will, Oceans with Happy, Odium Humani Generis with Mied Zykus, Our Hollow, Our Home with Hope and Hell, Pantheon Band with Upswing, Paradise with Paradise, that's an EP, Pentagram with a couple of re-releases, Review Your Choices, and Sub Basement, Plague Mind with Always on the Outside, that's an EP, Post 942 with hashtag Shelar Humane, Cyclona with Warped Visions, Pythonic with EP1, that's an EP, Wretched with The Overlord Messiah, Richie Kotzen with Nomad, Ripped to Shreds with Sanshi, Rolo Tomasi with Live at the Electric Ballroom, Rough Magic with Moth Eaters, Sathanas with Into the Nocturne, Savage Existence with Bright Lights, Serge Tonkian with Foundations, that's an EP, Sif with Aegis of the Hollowed King, Socks and Ballerinas with A Bit Jumpy, Spite with The Third Temple, Storm Corrosion with a self-titled re-release, Swamp Coffin with Drowning Glory, Torify with Necronomus Songs, Trom with a self-titled EP, Triskelion with Shattered Elysium, Turbo Kill with Champion, UFO with Landing in St. Louis, and Seven Deadly, but it doesn't have those listed as re-releases. So I don't know if those are two brand new albums. I highly doubt it, but I don't know. Vicious Blade with Relentless Force, Vomitus Sanctus with Secretion of Contempt, Wayne Grow with Sports, Warlock with Book 2, The Valley of Vagine. Okay, that's weird. Warlust with Sol Invictus in Umbre Satene, Whiskey of Blood with Diablesse of Revolution, Witch Trap with Hungry as the Beast, and The Ring with Nemesis. So
there's some known bands.
Yeah, there are.
And actually, one of the albums I've been wanting to check out's on here, so I can't wait for that. Our Hollow, Our Home. I've been waiting on that one. So.
Oh yeah, okay.
They released a couple of good singles. I'm just like, dude, I can't wait for this comes out. I want to check that. Nice. So that may be my go-to next week.
Okay, cool. I will do my best to pick something else off this list. God knows there's enough shit on here. Good.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm like, man, I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like, well, you know what? It doesn't matter because we're both going to be listening to it anyway. So
that's right. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we can just pick out stuff. So that Harriet should be interesting too. So.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one. So yeah, that may be my write up. So
You know, so that's Bewitcher. I mean,
Yeah. So there's some to definitely take note of.
yeah, pretty stacked. Pretty stacked. So
Yeah.
I was trying to put the head while you were doing that too, and it's
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah. It's getting into the latter part of the year, so we're probably going to get bombarded with a bunch of stuff trying to get it out before
Yeah, we might.
Christmas season at least.
Yeah, we may very well do that.
Still. Ooh. This, all right. Well, I guess that will put a bow in it this week.
Yep.
So thank you all for listening, wherever you listen from. We have a few people over Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now.
Mm-hmm.
Twitch
couple
person.
people, a couple people still watching us live over on X.
Yeah. We had Amy and Dana in here as normal.
Yep.
Facebook.
Someone trying to spam us over on Twitch. So yeah. But yeah, we want to thank everybody for watching and joining us wherever you watched or listened from. And if anybody goes back and checks this out after the fact, we also want to thank you for doing so. If you want to follow us on all of our social media. Follow us on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitch, on Rumble, on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, our Facebook group, which is private. Come get a membership, and follow us on Spotify. And metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com is our email address. And Jason already mentioned the radio station at the bottom of the screen, which is playing right now.
Mm-hmm. And I can actually tell you what it's playing today. So I will do so. Tell you what's blasting.
But just another quick reminder that we will be off next Friday because Jason and I will both be in Louisville, Kentucky for the Louder Than Life Festival. Friday is going to be, the lineup is stacked all 4 days, but the main attraction, obviously, Slayer coming back.
Yep.
Gonna be
hear the last few bands that played on here was Strivers, Motionless in White, Skillet, Hero in the Horror, Rage Behind, Barrel, Minded, Messiah, Megadeth, Rob Zombie, Damage Plan, Stonehorns, Korn, Wolves Don't Sleep, Sepultura, Pantera, Contortion, Dream Evil.
A lot of our friends on there.
Yeah.
Hero in the Horror, Barrel, Contortion. A lot of our friends on there.
Cool here. And we had some decent plays this week. So we appreciate people listening to us.
Yes.
It's easier to blast it in work or whatever, I know that's what a lot of people that I know do. They tell me all the time. So yeah, man, we just throw it on at work
and that's awesome. That is awesome.
Whatever, man. Just enjoy.
Oh yeah. Metal makes the day go by. It just
it does.
Yes, it does. It makes the work day go by a lot faster.
Yeah. I kind of remembered what I wanted to say at the beginning of the show. The interview with Salem's Child is up on Spotify and Rumble now. So if you want to go either one of those and check that out, it is up there.
Yes, it is.
Go back and check it out on Facebook, YouTube, all that's still there. But Twitch only hosted for 14 days or something. So you probably missed the deadline there. So.
Yeah,
it is available in other places. So.
Yeah, YouTube and Rumble are the best places to watch it. Spotify to listen to it. Yep.
So there we go. And we're still working on a few things to kind of improve the show for 2025. So hopefully we get some of that rolling. Definitely going to try to have shirts by next week, so me and Chris will be able to at least show you guys those when we come back the following, or maybe when I'm back in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Be able to Well, I probably could show it. Yeah, I can still show it on October show. Yeah, I can still do that. So,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I'll have it with me. I didn't think about that because I'm not
Yeah.
coming back home. I'm going straight to the airport. So yeah, so I'll still have it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to show you a shirt next week, a new Metalheads Unite shirt that will be for sale.
Yep.
So we'll give you guys details on that too. So
Absolutely.
it'll be personal. At from the first until I get the website up and running. That's one of the things I'm planning on working on next week. So I got leading up into my vacation. I got like a plan to do certain things. So hopefully I'm gonna spend one night on until I get get it done or at least get it to where I'm happy with it. So
Right.
hopefully we'll I know I've been talking about that for a long time and I apologize, but that's once we got the platform kind of handed to us, then hadn't had time to really sit down and mess with it. So,
Yeah.
because I honestly my focus has been on the t-shirts. So I'm trying to get this done. I was trying to get that done because I don't want 2024 to be up on us and then we don't have 2023 shirts. That's kind of
Right.
That's kind of not the way I wanted to do things.
Right. Yeah.
Time and money is always a big factor when you're DIY.
Yep. As never obey again will attest.
Right. That's right. Yep. So that will end this one. Thank you guys for stopping in. You're all invited back next week.
Actually, you're invited back next week, but we won't be here. So
we won't be here.
I mean, but in the meantime, go back and check out some of the interviews, check out the playlists, and join us again on the 4th. We'll be back.
Got a road trip planned? Put on one of the band interviews on Spotify and maybe check out some. You may hear some interesting stories, or get to hear a band that you may be inspired to listen to from an interview. So
that's right.
I have done that too. Oh man, these guys sound cool. Let me check them out.
Yep. Oh, we've gotten plenty of new music advice from lots and lots of our guests over the last couple of years.
And they tell us bands a lot of times while we're on there. Like, hey man, you should check this band out.
Taking plenty of notes.
They're actually networking. So cool. So until 2 weeks from now. We will keep our horns held high, so we expect you to too.
That's right.
We're not going to get in a pit, or try not to. I'm not.
We might. There's nothing that says we won't get swept up, but yeah, we'll
exactly
try to stay on especially when Slayer gets on there. I mean, when Slayer gets on there, those mosh pits are going to be fucking.
Yeah. Well, luckily you can get close enough to see everything without getting involved.
Yeah.
Or we last time I was there.
Yeah, for the sake of my back, I got to steer clear of mosh pits.
Yeah, my neck and my back.
Yeah,
shoulder. I'm kind of like I'm broken down. If I was a horse, it took me out the back shot.
Same. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, guys, appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks. But keep if you haven't followed us on any of our socials, Facebook's the best way to do that. To keep up with our album reviews and stuff like that, because we still post those even though we're not doing shows.
Yep.
So if you want to get our thoughts on some of the new albums that came out before you check them out, then swing over there and maybe we listen to something that you were interested in, and maybe we can give you that nice little last kick in the butt to go over there and check it out. So,
right. Maybe.
Well, till then, guys, keep those horns head high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great 2 weeks, guys. We'll see you.